You like that one, though?
There we go. There we go. Thunderbirds go. Good evening, ladies and germs and peanuts.
Good evening.
We seem to be
Good evening.
having a dilemma with Sheepy's avatar.
Yep.
Okay. Was that a peanut whipping a skull?
It's a potato.
Oh, a potato. Okay. Okay.
It should be a peanut though.
Yeah. Okay.
Gives me an idea.
Yeah. I got no
The
idea
question
what.
is, which is better?
Mm.
The potato whipping the skull or the army military sheep or the sheep with glasses? Those are your options.
I'd like the sheep with sunglasses with the rocket launchers.
You can't have both of them because the rocket launcher sheep doesn't have sunglasses. Not yet. That'll be the future.
Surf said we started too early. What do you mean too early? Well, I could have started at 4 and I could have started at 12. Okay. Ah, Surf said, "Gar, be right back." Okay, what? Go and get a coffee. Does my mic still sound funny, Paul, in Zoom?
Oh, it's still got the background noise, but it's quite acceptable, Terry. Don't worry about it. It's all right.
Yeah, I'm OCD.
Don't fret about it. Don't fret about it now. All right.
Yeah, I know,
Don't
but I'm
waste time.
OCD. It's going to be in the back of my mind. Where am I anyway? Oh, we're all down in stream planning homework. So I've got to go back up there.
Put us back up there then.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going back up.
I can't be bothered.
I can move you. Where is it? Move to have a go. Move to.
Someone already found the name.
Move to.
Yep,
have
indeed.
A go. And
I was just about to type it to you, and then I see it says,
to have a go.
"You're sending it to Blaze." Pascal, I was like, "Wait a minute."
Was that who you were going to guess?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, cool. Good.
Well, was that the guess in the peanut gallery that somebody guessed?
Yep.
Who got it this time?
Clive.
Oh, Clive.
Clive got it.
He's bloody intelligent.
You grab a coffee, I'll grab a beer. Sounds like a fair trade-off. No, I've only got coffee, Renee and me.
He looks like a writer, doesn't he? Blaze.
Where is it?
Blaze.
They're all into having long hair in those days.
Yeah. It was the in thing.
But it's not a wig. It's not the wig version this time, by the look of it. Looks like it could be his real hair. Because they had a problem with their hair back then. To wear wigs or not. Not that they were having a bad hair day, but seemed to have been a problem with lice and stuff for some reason. Trick question. Oh, okay, yep. We're up to
I wish I had questions were that easy.
Yeah, I know. It tricked me straight away because I was thinking, why are you saying it like that when I'm used to it said a different way?
Oh,
Yeah, Fred's trying to give the game away. Oh, Feather's way more. Mountain Dew, isn't that just lemonade? How long is this article? Oh, it's not that long. Gonna whiz through this pretty quick. Yeah, the thumbnail for the show, I found it and I went, oh yeah, I didn't know that. In the Pilbara region in the northwestern of Western Australia. But there's been a few different articles written about it, so to narrow it down to what the main facts are, I found this article that was done September 2019, so I couldn't find anything newer about it. So we'll read through that and see what a couple of videos, maybe a couple of minute videos to watch for it. And then we'll go search for some dirt. See if we can. Shouldn't be too hard to find any, should it, Sheepy? You could. There's a thing where you could throw something.
what's that? The derp.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to find dirt. Like there's a saying or something. You throw something and it'll bound to hit it. Okay.
It's never far away.
Mm. Why is that too small? Oh, that's better. There we go. I don't know if the picture matches what... Oh, this is ancient rock formations in the Pilbara. That's cool. I like that sort of stuff. The stratification and geological evidence of rock formation millions of years ago. Okay. Mind-blowing study just confirmed Earth had... Well, it's not just confirmed because this is September 2019. Confirmed that
Just take out the word just.
Yeah, it's not just then. So mind-blowing, a mind-blowing study confirmed Earth had living organisms 3.5 billion years ago. 3.5. I think that's an approximate. Like, could be 3.5 point, 3.5 to 7 billion years ago. Okay. In the search of earliest life on Earth, it can be hard to tell whether you're looking at an actual fossil or crinkles in the rock itself. Such doubts have long shadowed the 1980s discovery of 3.5 billion-year-old fossils in the Australian desert. Now scientists think they have finally put the matter to bed. In ancient fossilized microbe formations called stromatolites, yeah, that word, found in the Dresser Formation, fossils site of the Pilbara region, researchers have finally detected traces of organic matter. Okay. This is an exciting discovery. For the first time, we're able to show the world that these stromatolites are definitive evidence. Am I saying it wrong, Sheepy?
I think it's stromatolites.
Stromatolites.
Yeah,
that word.
That's stromatolites.
Well, a stromato, like tomato. Stromato.
Okay. Stromatolites.
Yeah, it's tomato. Tomato. Potato.
Tomato.
Where was I up to? Evidence of
Yep.
earliest life on Earth. Said geologist Raphael Baumgartner of the University of New South
Baumgartner.
Wales. That's what I said.
Mm.
Of the University of New
Yeah.
South Wales, the UNSW in Australia. If anyone needed to know that, that's where it is.
Some do. Some do,
Yes,
Terry.
yes.
Some do.
You may remember the time scientists claimed to have found 3.7 billion-year-old fossils in Greenland. Later, research determined that these fossils were just plain old rocks. Ah. And the
That'll
crown
get the
was
conspiracy
returned
going.
back to the Pilbara fossils. But although everyone was
Mm.
pretty sure the Pilbara fossils were the real deal, it hadn't actually been conclusively proven. They had the shape and structure of microbial stromatolites, whatever, and no evidence of organic matter to back it up. There's more writing on this than a tiara and a sash reading most oldest fossils, and deeply relevant to one of the fundamental questions about our very existence. How and when did life develop on this sloshy blue marble?
Mm.
So
Interesting.
Baumgartner and his team went digging. Not literally. Oh, okay. Though they analysed previously drilled core samples from deep underground, below where the rocks could have been affected by weather. This means these samples were much better preserved than those from the surface. In their paper, the team said the preservation was exceptional. Okay.
Mm.
I've got no idea what the drawing is. It's a bit of rock or something. It's pointing to things, but I don't know what they are. The researchers analysed the samples in thin slices using multiple techniques, including scanning electron microscopy and scanning transmission electron microscopy, energy dispersive X-ray spectroscopy, and Raman spectroscopy. Trying to get these words out right. Nanoscale secondary ion mass spectrometry, and
Yep.
stable
Mm-hmm.
carbon isotope analysis. Geez, all these big words. It, if that seems like overkill, well, it's not really. If one of those lines of inquiry showed a positive result and the rest didn't, it would mean much shakier ground for drawing a conclusion, but things look good across the board. The team's
Mm.
analysis revealed that stromatolites are predominantly made up of a mineral called pyrite, riddled with nanoscopic pores, and in the pyrite are inclusions of nitrogen-bearing organic material, as well as strands of filaments of organic matter that closely resemble the remnants of biofilms formed by microbe colonies. The
Mm.
organic matter that we found preserved within pyrite of the stromatolites is exciting. We're looking at exceptionally preserved, coherent filaments and strands that are typically remains of microbial biofilms, Baumgartner said. I was pretty surprised, but we never expected to find this level of evidence before I started this project. Previously, a different team of UNSW researchers found evidence of 3.48 billion-year-old microbes in hot spring deposits in the Pilbara. Because those deposits are about the same age as the crust of Mars, it's thought that they could
Wow.
tell us how to find potential fossils on Mars, especially since there's evidence the red planet once had hot springs too. Indeed, NASA, I didn't put that there, has been investigating the Pilbara, trying to learn the possible geological signatures that could indicate the presence of stromatolites. Um, Understanding where life could have emerged is really important in order to understand our ancestry, Baumgartner said, and from there it could help us understand where else life could have occurred. For example, where it was kick-started on other planets. Okay. The research has been published in Geology. That's all there is for that.
Sweet. So where's
Neil,
Pilbara?
the
Pilbara.
northwest Western Australia.
Right. It doesn't say that, does it?
It says
It
Pilbara.
just talks about the fossils.
Yeah, it
No,
said
it says
Pilbara.
it doesn't say where it is. It
Oh.
actually doesn't. It refers to the Pilbara fossils, but it doesn't tell you that they're also in Australia. So interesting.
These are not the chocolatey balls you are looking for. What? I've got no idea sometimes these conversations these peanuts have out there.
Chocolate covered peanut butter ball. That sounds good. We'll make them good for Christmas. Interesting.
What else have we got? Queensland, Tasmania. Watch the video. Where did I put the videos? Put them here somewhere.
If that's the Timor Sea, then East Timor must be somewhere around there. Interesting.
Oh no.
What?
No, it's me coughing.
No.
Okay, where'd that video go? Stream topic. There. How many videos we got? I think I got 3 little videos. There's one.
Dickinsonia is one of the oldest large creatures on Earth.
Whoa,
It came up to 140
Shut up.
centimeters.
I didn't say you could talk yet.
So over the last 5 years, we've been documenting the dinosaur tracks.
And you can't talk yet either.
Well, they're all going off.
Yeah, I didn't tell him they could talk yet. How about this guy? No, he's going to talk too, so I better pause him. Shut up. You can't talk. Not allowed to talk yet. Okay.
You will speak when spoken to.
Yeah, how dare they? Okay, what do we got? Okay, I want that one, want that one, and that one. There we go. Couple little videos. They only go for a few minutes each, so. Do you think the peanuts need the subtitles because they can't understand Australian? Share. There we go. YouTube. Play.
It is simply,
we'll go
Dickinsonia
back.
is one of the oldest large creatures on Earth. It became up to 140 centimeters. It is simply a beautiful fossil. It was one of the first discovered ediacarans, and they hold the key between a microscopic world of bacteria and the world of large animals. The real nature of these ediacarans is the holy grail of paleontology. For 75 years, people have tried to figure out what these creatures actually were. And there were huge diversity of opinions. There could have been lichen, there could have been giant single-celled creatures, or there could have been animals in our earliest ancestors. And because they tell us something about our own origin, it is very important simply to know finally what they were. So Ilya discovered these organically preserved ediacarans and had the totally crazy idea to look for molecules in them to find out what they finally actually are.
The problem with getting those fossils is that they're located quite high in the cliff of the White Sea, in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by bears and clouds of mosquitoes. So to get them, we had to go down from the top of the cliff on the ropes and then try to dig out huge blocks of sandstone until we actually found organically preserved Ediacara biota fossils.
Looking at molecules in these ancient organisms is a game changer. Paleontologists exclusively look at the structure, at the morphology of organisms or fossils. Looking for molecules inside these organisms is entirely new and gives us completely different and complementary information.
ANU has one of the most sensitive machines for analyzing biomarkers. We brought samples of the Ediacara biota to the ANU. There's a good chance if I've done that anywhere else in the world that just wouldn't work. but here we were able to get the signal.
Well, when Ilya showed me the results, I just couldn't believe it. I also immediately saw the significance. It was completely clear. The results are black and white. There's nothing to interpret. These creatures in fact produce cholesterol, which is the hallmark of animals, and it tells us this creature in fact was our earliest ancestor.
The creationists all disagree with all this sort of stuff, don't they?
Of course they do.
I don't know what answers they've got for that though. It's a mud flood giant's foot fingerprint. Oh, yes, Sean. Trying to throw a spanner in the works here. Okay, dinosaur tracks found at Australia's Jurassic Park at Walmadini. I should have found out where that was actually.
Queensland.
Yeah, I forgot to Google that. Oh, it says Queensland, so I'd take an educated guess that this is in Queensland.
Walmadani.
Walmadani, yeah. That's Walmadani. Walmadani. You can't say it in Australian, Sheepy.
Walmadani. That was terrible.
Yeah. Well, it'll get rid of your New Zealand accent eventually if you keep trying.
Yeah.
Around Walmerton, James
Walmer.
Price Point, around 25 kilometres of coastline. And in that time, we've discovered and observed
That's cool.
literally thousands of dinosaur tracks and have been able to determine that this area preserves one of the most diverse dinosaur track faunas anywhere in the world. Nowhere else has as many different types of dinosaurs represented by tracks than Walmerton does. I think realising that, you know, for this area, that pretty much gives us a look at Australia's dinosaur fauna from a period of time where we've got no other fossils. We see a unique dinosaur fauna that includes things like stegosaurs and some of the biggest dinosaurs to have ever walked the planet, gigantic sauropods that left tracks up to 1.7 metres long. So animals that we probably never would have dreamed of seeing in Australia had we not found their tracks and recorded them in this area. We were invited to this area by the Gallaraballoo traditional custodians who were aware of the tracks there but needed their scientific significance properly showcased and documented. The tracks at Walmerton are part of a song cycle, so they relate to the creation mythology associated with this area, and specifically the tracks represent the journey or show the journey of a creation being called Morella, or the Emu Man. So wherever he went, he left behind three-toed tracks that now we recognise as the tracks of meat-eating dinosaurs. So we spent many hours, we worked out probably around 400 hours out on the reefs at low tide, looking for tracks, so literally tracking dinosaurs, and then when we find tracks, cleaning them, measuring them, photographing them, and in instances where we had important tracks, making silicon peels so that we could make plastic replicas to go in the West Australian Museum. One of the biggest challenges in this area is that the tracks are only exposed for a short time when the tide retreats, so you can't get out there and lay tape measures out and take your time recording them. You've got to be able to do it really quickly. So we ended up using drones and then also teaming with Airborne Research Australia from Flinders University to fly over and map the tracks from the air digitally and also with laser scanners as well. And this has provided us with a really detailed digital record of this entire coastline that we can now start to use for ongoing research. So most dinosaur fossils from Australia come from the east coast, from Queensland and Victoria, and a few spots in New South Wales, and the majority of those areas are from about 115 million years ago up to about 90 million years ago. So all our dinosaurs and everything we've sort of figured out for the Cretaceous comes from that time slice. Broome and Walmerton comes from about 130 million years ago. So from a completely unknown period of time insofar as the dinosaur fossils go from elsewhere. So it really does fill in an important gap in the dinosaur fossil record in Australia.
Wow.
Yeah,
See, that's LiDAR equipment there that they were using. That's awesome.
yeah, we're saying that area is Aboriginal custodian area, so that make it hard for normal tourists just to wander in and look.
So the correct pronunciation is Walmaden.
Okay.
That's what he said in the video.
Yeah.
Walmaden. Walmaden.
Yeah, I know, not a Y on the end of it. That's what I thought it was Waldmadini.
Mm.
Okay, last one.
I thought it was Danny.
I'll throw this one as a different. I think this is one's for you, Sheepy.
For me?
Yeah, for you, yeah.
Oh, brace for impact.
Paleontologists say they've found the fossilized remains of a new genus and species of bat that lived in New Zealand between 19 and 16 million years ago, early Miocene epoch. Burrowing bats, family Mystacinidae, are only found now in New Zealand, but they once also lived in Australia. They are peculiar because they not only fly, they also scurry about on all fours, over the forest floor, under leaf litter and along tree branches, while foraging for both animal and plant food. Burrowing bats are more closely related to bats living in South America than to others in the Southwest Pacific, said Professor Sue Hand, from the University of New South Wales in Australia. They are related to vampire bats, ghost-faced bats, fishing and frog-eating bats, and nectar-feeding bats, and belong to a bat superfamily that once spanned the southern landmasses of Australia, New Zealand, South America and possibly Antarctica. The newly found fossil bat, named Vulcanops jennyworthii, was relatively large with an estimated body mass of 40 grams. Its fossilized remains, teeth and bones, were recovered from freshwater lake sediments, 16–19 million years old, near St. Bathan.
I thought that would have been a bit
That's
better.
obviously a computer voice.
Oh, I know, that was...
There's some funny things in there.
Yeah.
Peculiar. That's a very peculiar way to pronounce a word.
Yeah, very peculiar.
Peculiar.
Very peculiar.
Peculiar.
At 16 minus 19 million years ago.
Yeah, I thought, what? How did you work that one out?
Yo! Ugly looking bat.
Yeah, I'll throw
Ain't
it.
gonna lie.
I didn't realise it was computer gen.
Look at that thumbnail. It's horrible.
Oh dear. Yeah, that'll do for basic fossil stuff. If I see any more for it next in between show, I'll see if I can find something.
They put a lot of work into it,
Yeah.
roughing those fossils. It's cool.
Yeah, well, you can go down a virtual rabbit hole with looking at fossil stuff, because I think we've looked at it once before, even just Googling the images for fossils. There's that many of them. But as the creationists always claim, where's the in-between species? The crossover species?
The missing link.
The missing links, yeah. Where's all the missing links species? Yeah? Okay.
Like that episode of Futurama where he comes out and he says, where's the missing link? Here it is. Well, where's the missing link between that and that? Here it is. Oh,
Here it
where's
is.
the missing link between that and that?
Did you say we had a derp debate that we could skip through a bit of it, Sheepy, that you know of?
Oh yeah, you could click anywhere in the first hour, Terry, and you'll strike gold.
Okay. I'd like to just get rid of a few tabs.
Paul, you've seen it? Have you
No,
seen
I
it?
haven't. I haven't.
Oh,
We may even see Polaris.
Yes, Scott.
Scott, have you seen it obviously then?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
have.
good-
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Who did the debate so I can find it in me notification?
Let's fight the flat earth.
Oh, fights. Okay, fight.
I tore one of Lindsay's videos apart with comments, and he actually responded to me each time.
4 hours ago, uploaded. Biggest flat earth dumpster fire ever. Is that the one?
Yes, that's the one.
That would
Are
have
you
to be.
Gravity
just
Guru on
location.
YouTube then, Paul?
I am, yeah. Did you read some of them?
No, I didn't know you had a channel. I'm gonna subscribe to you.
Yeah, but I haven't. I don't produce videos, so only one.
You will though. I feel it. You've got the
Yeah,
bug now.
I've been thinking about it.
I'll just make a coffee while you ad lib for a sec. Before I play the video. Oh. No, Paul's quite comfortable here. He's got his own little segment and everything. He doesn't have to do a lot of pre-production work like you do on your own channel, and you can always copy it and upload it on your own channel if you want. Edit it.
Yeah, but I only do my segment on Wednesdays and Saturdays, Terry.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to overwork you because I can't afford to pay you
exactly.
extra days.
Yeah.
So it says you've got one upload.
Yeah, I did a video on Quantum Eraser.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Subscribe. Yeah.
I think next time I make a comment on Lindsay's channel, I'll have to actually invite him to come over here and debate us.
Put it to the peanuts. Ask them, would you like to hear Lindsay debate it with you, Paul?
I reckon that'd be an awesome thing to see.
So Lindsay's still going then, is he? Making videos?
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to make any more Flat Earth videos, but then he popped 4 out in quick succession, and I noticed that he's actually deleted one of those. I don't know why. Yeah, he produced 4. There was part 1, part 2, and part 3. Part 1, an astronomical discovery that destroys the spinning globe, and he had 2 parts of that, and then his part 3 is astronomical discovery, Orion's belt, and the equinox. And then he had a 4th one, but he's since taken that 4th one down for some reason.
Did you watch that one before he took it down?
No, I didn't. I should have downloaded them.
Yeah, Brainer says he's probably found a error and wants to correct it. So
He's probably put some real science in there and thought, no, we can't have that.
Yeah, we'll
how the hell would you notice an error? It's all wrong.
Yeah.
It's all wrong. Like
Yeah.
So the one we're going to
Something's
play
not
on
right.
Saturday is Socrates' New Scientists Preached False Science. You know Socrates?
When's Saturday?
Yeah.
When's Saturday? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow's Saturday.
Tomorrow, yeah.
I guess
Do
you
you
got to
know
say
that-
Saturday for the other people. who are
Sheeple, do you know
living in a
what? Do you know
Friday.
what the day after tomorrow is known as? Other than Sunday.
It's known as.
There is actually a name given to the day after tomorrow.
Oh yeah. It's a real foreign. It's like you got. It's like kind of like a French word. It's 2 days from now.
No, it is not 2 days from now. It's actually called overmorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you really want to procrastinate, you don't say I'll do it tomorrow. You say I'll do it overmorrow.
Overmorrow.
Yeah.
How proper is that?
Yeah.
I like it. I'm gonna trick people with it. See if they get it.
Tell them you'll do it overmorrow.
I've been using Twitter Lite recently. You remember the Twitter Lite? I've been using Twitter Lite.
Yeah.
People look at me real funny. I'm like,
So if you're
That's
talking
what it
about
used to be.
2 days ago, you say under something.
no,
don't
that's a bit of
know.
a different one. That's back a bit.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
but
might be a
opposite
word
to
for that. I
over.
don't know.
Opposite over
2 days.
is under.
Yeah, I guess yesterday. Yeah. In Japan,
Underday.
they have like they have words like not like that, like overmorrow, but they have like raishu, and then they have saraishu, which is next week and next week. 2 weeks from now. So instead of fortnight.
So who's actually watched this through its entirety?
I got to 1 hour 5 minutes or something, but literally, the gold is in the first hour.
Okay. These depictions of other images, is that when this other guy's coming on talking?
Yeah, you got to get him from the beginning, Terry, so you catch him.
Well, Sheeple, there is actually a word for 2 days ago.
Yeah?
Yeah, what is it?
It's air yesterday. E-R-E yesterday. Air yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
What? Yesterday.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Is that his avatar with the screen?
Now you got to go back.
Because I got Teams
Go
up in
back
that
and-
corner and Craig
Where are we?
there.
I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on, Terry. How many? I'm looking at the YouTube stream and I realize there's a delay. And I'm like, wait a minute. 5 minutes. No, he's already laughing. So no, you got to go back a bit.
Gotta go. Yeah, but how do you know when he's come on the screen? Is when that avatar
Because he's
at the
looking
bottom comes
normal.
up?
He doesn't. He does. Yeah.
So he's there already now.
You
Even
can
though
play it
there's
from
no
there,
avatar,
maybe.
there's no avatar here for him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be on camera.
Well, he can just have an avatar. He doesn't have to be.
Okay. Go from there.
Okay.
Going to be on camera, John, or?
Oh no, I won't
Perfect.
need to be.
Okay, right.
This is really easy. I mean,
It's real
this is
easy.
So easy.
I'm sure it is easy, John. The amount of meme spam that you send at me is incredible.
Oh, we know it's got to be spam to you, right? Because imaginary shit doesn't have any real shit, right?
No, imaginary shit like the flat Earth doesn't
real
happen.
shit.
No. So, John, why don't you tell us why you're so retarded?
Let's just get going, okay?
All right, John.
I don't have
So-
all day to play with you. Hey
All right.
guys, everybody go search the word globe.
Yeah, they've
Click
done
on
that
the little
already.
image button. That's your real globe right there. One word, the globe. Little image link. Click on it.
If I might,
Yeah, that's what we
if
got.
I might
Hey,
moderate
guess
for
what?
a second,
Go search
John, hold on.
Datum.
John, hold on.
Hey, John, my name is Team Skeptic.
Datum. And then go
John.
search geodetic.
John, hold on. Just
Can
chill
you
a
hear me?
sec.
Hey, wait,
Can you hear
your
me?
imaginary shit don't come up. Where's the helio stuff?
John, hold on,
What?
man.
What? You thought you were
Listen,
in
I'm
control?
a temporarily.
No, little girl, you're not in control. You're a
John,
delusional
John,
psychotic
listen,
person.
John.
Delusional psychotic person.
That's fine. I've been called
Why can't
worse.
you show
I'm
us
Team
any of this?
Skeptic.
Hey, you know what? They're
I'm
searching
Team
on their
Skeptic.
own.
It's nice
The
to
word
meet you.
heliodatum, and
Can
it's
he
coming
hear
up a
me?
bunch of
Yeah, he
funny
can hear.
stuff
He
for
can
me.
hear,
What's
but
that?
this guy
Hey,
does
they
not
were
have an off
searched that
switch.
word globe, and they're looking at a toy model. that
John,
you
can you
say
hear
is
us? Just want to
real.
check. John, can you hear
You
us?
say a toy model is real? Is that
John,
what
can you hear us or?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Your
Right,
turn.
cool.
I asked you a
How
question.
much fucking?
Do you
Yeah, I do.
say
I have a
toy
question.
model
I
is
have a
real?
question. Oh my God, he said, "Ask
John-
me a question," and won't
Yeah.
shut the fuck up.
Let's ask you a question,
will you please
John.
be quiet so I can ask you a question? Seriously,
Yeah.
I'm like trying to moderate this so that you guys can have a
They already
conversation.
know you're a moron. They went and searched the internet for a couple of simple things. Can't change geo to helio. And when you go search helio datum, guess what you get?
Hey, John, do you know what geodetic means?
Oh, you think could change that shit to helio for us?
No. Do you know what geodetic means? Do you know what, like, geo means?
Yeah, it means a flat disc.
No, it doesn't.
Sure does.
You got any citations for that, moron?
You need them to go search that, too?
Have you got any citations for the
hey,
geo
do you know what
means
helio
flat disc?
means? That's supposed to be your globe.
John,
do you know what
John, can you
helio
hear me?
means? That's supposed to be your
John,
globe.
can
John,
you hear me?
stop for a sec.
I think we deserve a skip.
Yeah.
You know, so just what you want to do, Kerry, is keep it playing, keep it playing, and then just click it along and just listen to the voice. It's so funny. So
What do you mean click
just
it
leave it
along?
playing and then like click play so it's just playing, and then just click in random spots inside the hour.
So
and
it's
just
your
listen.
four-way
Can you hear me,
spin.
John, hold
Show
on.
I
us
can
your
do it.
four-way
John, hold on.
spin for your
John,
helio.
stop. Hey, John, do you like drinking hydraulic fluid?
Show
I've heard
everybody
that you
how
enjoy
psychotic
drinking
you are.
hydraulic
They're
fluid.
going to go search this stuff for themselves. Psychotic people that
This
think
is the
air
way he's
can
going to
hold
be
you
the
up.
whole way through.
Are you calling us psychotic? You haven't even stopped to take a
Click
fucking
along,
breath.
just click an XP.
Right?
John, do you want to stop for a sec? Hey, you just asked us the question. Can we respond?
Right?
It's
John.
hard to hear you. You have failed to take your head out of your ass before you started talking again. Please
There
follow
you
the fucking
go,
step by
psycho.
step.
There you go. But you know what? Everybody else can hear me just fine. They can go look up helio data.
Yeah, we're
and laugh their
laughing
ass
at you.
off me.
Actually,
we've been laughing at you
I
for a
don't know how
long
much of
time,
that.
dude.
I don't know if
Everybody
you're following
has.
Give like
the
10
fucking
You're
minutes
too
here.
moronic
video,
to
but
figure
we're
it out
muting
still.
you.
Hey, John, what drugs do you
We're
want? Can I have
muting
some?
you.
This is Polaris. No matter what time of the year it is, you will be able to see Polaris.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And Venus
However,
and Mars
there is-
and all that shit all the time, really?
I missed the start
You
of
ever
that.
seen the sun leave
John,
you?
Can I,
Hell, it even
John, can you
continues
stop
with
for a
its
sec? John,
afterlife
stop,
going
stop,
from the
stop,
left
stop.
to
John,
the right
you need to
as
stop.
it continues its circular arc
John,
over our head.
you need
5
to stop
miles.
and let me
It's only
answer
5
a
miles up
question.
there, dude.
John, you need to stop and
You
let me
can fly
answer
an
a
airplane
question.
through it.
John, can you see the screen?
Done that 30 years
John,
ago.
can you see the screen? Yeah,
What string?
the screen that you're holding in front of you. Can you see that I've got
What
paint open?
screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You gonna
Right.
show me some imaginary shit with your paint? Can't show us real
Okay.
shit? Why don't you post my pictures I
Hey, John.
posted?
Because
Why
I want
am I
I
not
want to try and
seeing those
explain something
online?
to you, right?
Why am I not seeing the ones I gave you on here?
Because
Tell
I'm
me.
trying to explain something to you right now,
gave
and
you
if you want to be
several
quiet,
photos.
You want me to tell you why? Because you
Hey,
won't shut
let's
the
do
fuck
this.
up. That's why we ain't seeing
Let's
your
do this.
shit. Because you
Let's
won't
do
shut
this.
the fuck
Your
up.
son is
So
the
shut
sun-
up.
your
Right,
sun
right,
is
John.
the
Can
size
you
of
can
a
you see the
basketball,
John?
right?
Can you see the screen or not?
And your Earth
John,
is
can you see the
size of
screen?
a marble, right?
John, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see your
Right.
two circles and a star between.
Right. Okay.
You
So
good now?
now
you
listen.
happy
Now
with your
now
drawing?
listen and don't talk for 5 minutes. Okay. Good boy.
Put the sunshine rays in there.
No,
Don't
you
play.
failed already. You failed already. Now be quiet and listen for
You're
2
wasting
minutes.
my time here.
Yeah. Now listen. Okay. This is our star, the sun. All right. This is Earth. Right. In January, and this
Okay.
is Earth in July. 6 months
Wanna
apart.
get your color paints and make the little yellow
Yeah.
rays hit
It
that
doesn't
Earth?
matter. Right.
And then
This
make
is
it
Earth.
look the
You
Earth on the
no.
other
You
side
started talking.
and
You
show
failed.
The dark sides too for us,
Dude,
though, on
dude,
the
you
outside.
started
Show those
talking.
dark
You
sides
failed.
on the outside.
No, shush, shush. This
It's
is Earth in
called
Jan.
good.
No,
It's
John,
called
John,
good.
you need to stop and listen. This is Earth in January. This is Earth in July. This is Polaris. No matter what time of the year it is, you will be able to see Polaris.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And Venus,
However,
and Mars,
there is-
and all that shit all the time, really?
There is stars over here,
Wow,
and there's
you
stars
guys
over
must
here
have
and
some
over here.
imaginary shit.
You'll only be able to see these stars for 6 years, for 6 months of the year,
How do we
and you'll only
see
be able
all
to see
that
these
other
stars
shit
for
all
6
the
months of
same
the
all
year,
the time?
but be able to see Polaris
shit.
all of the time.
We even see the Big Dipper as it turns in our sky.
We
How
do.
the fuck does that happen other than the sun? It's the only light we have.
Apart from the
Wow,
stars,
you're
you mean, that you
psychotic,
just
aren't
said
you?
it there?
Do we have more than one sun?
Definitely
have
not.
one more than
Well,
one
there's a
sun.
bunch of suns in our
Hey, you live
galaxy.
in a container. I'm going to tell you how easy it is now because
You
we're going to make
just
you look
jump
really
from one
stupid.
thing to another.
Cake pan, little water,
Yeah.
some rocks for the islands.
So,
That's
Okay.
wait, no,
lower.
hold on, John. You
Lower
didn't respond to what I
Earth
said.
model. A real one.
Okay,
John,
jump
we're going to
in.
focus on one thing.
Right, it's the cake pan. The
John,
container.
we're going to focus on one thing. We need to
Yeah.
focus on the fact that we can see.
There we go.
You know the sun makes
Nope.
the tide too, man. Them sunspots that you say, oh shit, how do they happen from 94 million miles away? Oh, it's winter time when it's 94 million. Summertime, 98
That's
million.
not how that works. That's
Should
not
be
how any of
cooler,
that
but
works.
It's hotter, 4 million miles away from your elliptical sun orbit.
John, I've got
Further
one
away,
question
and
for
it's
you. One
hotter.
question. John, I've got one question
Further away
for
from
you.
you get from the sun, it gets
Are you,
hotter,
can you
people.
not answer a question? Are you
Go
afraid
look
to
up
answer
the
a question?
elliptical orbit, you'll
Are you
see.
scared to answer a question, John?
Why,
Are you
why do I
are you
gotta ask a
scared?
question? I'm telling them how to
Are
prove
you,
it
no, are you
themselves.
scared? Are you
That you're
afraid?
lying
No,
to
you're
them.
afraid to
Does
answer
that
a question,
hurt
aren't you?
Is that hurting
You're a
you,
scared little
boy?
bitch, aren't you, John?
Is that hurting you?
You're a little girl who
poor
can't answer
baby.
questions, aren't you, John?
Poor baby. Hey,
No, you
they're
can't
going
answer a
to
question,
church,
can you?
dude. They're going to
Oh,
church and the shit
tell me
out.
where the globe touched you, John.
Now what are you going to do?
Now,
there you go.
there's one
Little
question,
baby,
John.
draw some
Why can you
drawings.
not see Polaris in Australia?
You can.
No, you can't.
Sure as fuck can.
No, you can't.
It's like you can see the fucking shit under
No, John, why are you lying? You cannot see Polaris in Australia. End of story.
Hey, dude, show me fucking curved water.
No, no,
Show
no,
me
no,
a mountain
no,
of
no.
fucking
We're
curved
sticking
water.
on the one
Quit
thing
your
that I've asked.
lying. Quit
John,
your lying. Quit
why did
your
you just
lying.
lie? Why
Everybody
did you
come
lie
off
and say
the
you can see
pond to let- Hey,
Polaris
they
from
can pour
Australia,
themselves a glass
John?
of water and say, oh shit, that shit's flat. It's not curved. They can look for themselves with water.
So
real shit.
I'm just going to go and ask
Water
an
finds
Australian
its
right
level,
now.
dude. It's a fluid. Hey,
I've
are you
got
going to tell us there's a solid too?
John.
You're from NASA,
John,
right?
I'm just going to
NASA's
go.
paying you?
Yeah,
Why don't you
absolutely.
tell us how
I'm
this
Scottish and I
Why
work for
don't you tell
NASA.
us-
Why does this guy remind me of is it Demok, Paul, from over in Gems?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
very
bit like
similar
that.
to Demok.
But
Yeah.
With a little bit of brain leak
just-
somewhere in there, or
yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, a bit of that Brian Leakey there. Yeah.
A little bit of lemon bird talking until he has to get something out. Won't stop
Yeah.
until he's got out what he needs to get out.
okay.
If you go along a little bit, he starts to lose steam a little bit, but he's still going at the same pace. But his breathing can't keep up. It's quite comical. So.
9 o'clock says it's in REM and wit sits love child. Somebody may get that more than I will.
Yeah. Yes.
I know it's pretty
It's
lame
true.
when you have to explain it to me, but
No, Inrim is a long-haired flat earther, the one who like takes a big airplane almost the size of half of a hemisphere and rolls it around the globe and be like, how does the plane not fall out of the sky? How? It's going upside down. You're telling me the plane goes upside down? It's like that's not how big the plane is, you know.
well,
But
our
he's a
John's
classic.
our John feels a bit embarrassed because this floodie has disgraced his name.
yeah, well, keep on going.
Well, I've put the invite out to Lindsay, Terry. So
I mute him. It's not about a curve.
Supersonic speed,
Is that
and
our
then we're
ball
going to go
or is that a
around the
different
sun
ball?
at
Supersonic speed.
66,600 miles an hour.
Anyone that was doing Flurf bingo must have like already got
84
bingo by
times
now.
the supersonic speed, and then we're going to get pulled through the galaxy by this magic sun that nobody can find out there in outer space
Oh my god.
by 540,000 miles per hour, over 500,000 miles an hour through space, pulling the planets and us. Nothing changes. Still got Polaris right there.
Where did he find
Yeah,
this guy?
Are
Several
you going to
people.
use Vulcan with the plumb bob kicks its ass? Is that the one
Am I
you're
going
going
to
to
use
try?
what?
I mean, I told you about it.
I mean, gravity isn't a theory, gravity's a
magic
law.
Gravity can't even seem to hold the helium inside, let alone the added weight of the
do you wanna
balloon
answer to the
and
question,
the
John?
spring, and it still zooms to
John,
the sky.
do you want to answer
Yeah,
to the
you tell us
question,
how your
or
magic gravity holds helium. We're waiting.
John, do you want to answer to your question or not?
Yeah, I want an answer to my question.
All right, well, be quiet and listen for a minute.
Oh, we're going to a
Nevertheless,
bullshit story?
Maskelyne had a go. This is what he did.
Shut the fuck up,
he
dude.
dangled
God
a
damn.
long plumb line on a platform 2/3 of the way up the mountain. He knew two gravitational
Oh, we're
forces
going on a
act
bullshit
upon it.
deflect mission,
Main
right,
gravity
retard?
obviously
Is
You
that
asked
what
to
you're
prove
doing?
gravity.
Let's show them something else and they won't
But the
think
mass
about
of the
that.
mountain-
Oh, they
Let's say,
find
we
him
don't
on
need to worry
Facebook.
about that.
This is the
shit.
answer to your
We can
gravity
throw that
question,
away.
John.
We don't need
Exaggerate.
gravity on our spinning ball.
John, this is
no,
the answer
we're
to-
okay.
John.
And hey, when we look down at our feet at a...
I've muted him again. John, you need to stop talking and listen. This is the answer to your gravity question.
He's probably
What we
still
see is
talking.
called an illusion, and then the real...
It sounded like he was still
My
talking.
God, guys.
He probably was.
I just want to say that my artwork is priceless right now. I did
Just
realize
unmute
one
him
thing,
every
he has
couple
3
of
arms and
seconds
2
and see
legs,
if
so
he's
let's
in
make
the
him
middle of a
anatomically
sentence.
correct with a 3rd leg. There you go.
God. What's the matter? I got too much shit for you.
No, I was trying to answer a question.
Can't keep up.
Unfortunately,
you
the middle of my
I'll just
sentence
keep
was
telling them
interrupted by
more
the beginning of
information
yours.
that they can all go verify themselves.
Let me
This
sign
guy
this
is the
artwork.
personification
Good
of
luck for you.
flurf.
I don't
So-
think NASA's going to pay you a whole lot no more.
Oh, I get paid plenty by NASA. It's fine. So-
Yeah, you get paid plenty for NASA for showing nothing but asking questions, right?
Well, I'm trying to
And
answer
then
a
try to
question,
make
but you
drawings
don't
and say,
stop
oh, I
talking.
can't put the yellow in there if that sun ray's going everywhere. Because then you'd say, oh, you can't see Polaris if we were looking back at the sun.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, right. Tell us some more psychotic shit,
Wait,
dude.
do you think you can
Tell
see
us
Polaris
some more
during the day, John?
psychotic shit.
John, are you saying you can see
Just
Polaris
do it.
during the day? Are you saying
I
that
may
you
just
can see
start
Polaris-
drawing.
Here's your question.
I'm just realizing
Here's
I may
your
start
question.
just drawing my
I
own
want you to answer
thumbnails.
this, so you better listen real good. We're
All
going
right,
back
John.
to that time zones run north to south on your globe, correct?
No,
Correct?
time zones don't
They
run
do.
north to south. No.
North to south time zones. You going to tell
No.
us they run east to west then?
Yeah,
Are
they
you going to
do.
tell us the time zones run east to west?
Yeah, they do.
Who? About what?
What?
Time zones do run
Okay.
east to west. Is that your carer? Is that your carer there?
No, they run north to south, dude.
No,
Time
they
zone.
don't. Time zones run north to south,
You think
guys.
a plane that took off at the North Pole would be right side up when it got to the south of your imaginary place?
Skips from one thing to another.
Tell
He
me
doesn't
some more
clarify what he
psychotic
says.
stuff, man.
Did you just say that
I mean,
time
what do we
zones
use
run
sea
north to
level
south?
and level flight for then? I wonder why the sea is so level we can fly aircraft with it.
You can fly aircraft with the sea, can you?
Children,
Yeah, that's what an
arsenic is
altimeter
not
does.
good to eat.
Wait, an altimeter flies the aircraft with the sea. Are you sure about that one?
Yeah, you should try the characteristics.
Just as
of
sure as
flight.
you
It's
are
level
that time
flight
zones
on
go
all
north to
axes.
south.
Actually, about
And that
2
you can
degrees
see
up
Polaris from
parasitic
Australia.
Airlift. What, you didn't know I was a graduate with honors from aeronautics?
No, you're not.
Come on, dude.
The only thing you did was
playing.
drink hydraulic fluid,
2
John.
degrees nose up, fly aircraft, dude.
John,
Parasitic
why did you drink
airlift
hydraulic
lock.
fluid? Did you think it tastes
Level
nice?
flight. You know what? If we did your magic shit, we would be dropping 1 mile of altitude for every 90 miles we travel on your globe.
You don't know what altitude means, do you?
3,959-mile radius, dude. Moron.
Did you just say that Neil
Yeah.
deGrasse Tyson is my little black man?
You're what?
Is that what you just said? Neil deGrasse Tyson is my little black man. Is that what you said?
Yeah, you're a little black scientist. Yeah,
Team,
you're a
did
little
you
black
team? Did you know that I had a little black
Does that
scientist?
bother you? Does the word black bother you?
No,
Would
I'm
you
just.
rather hear the other word? Would that make it better for you?
Oh no,
Is
no,
there a
I'm
racist
just.
on top,
I
right?
didn't realize that.
You can't? I mean, are you medically incapable of doing so? Make that known up ahead of time so we get rid of the mentally incapable from being on our platform.
In case anyone can't
Fucking
see,
idiot.
It's the second from bottom row, third from the right. That is John. You see me unmute it
Yeah,
now.
go look
there,
at the
see, he's
water.
still
It makes a
talking.
white ring.
And now he's muted again. And you notice how the bar next to it doesn't stop going up and down.
Jesus fuck, man. He's just not fucking stopping talking. Like this is
This is John here.
I'm gonna mute myself, yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Unmute him so everybody can laugh.
Ready? And here we go.
Hey, buddy, which one of the emojis is your real one?
Oh, he's gone
Tell
back to the
everybody, out of
emojis,
those
is he?
three,
My
just those
penis
three, dude.
in your mouth.
Just those
That's
three.
the
Which one's your
real
one?
emoji.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, You're that psychotic. You see 3 there and say, oh, but it's still real. It's still real. I don't have any evidence. I can ask more questions, but it's still real.
You mute him and then come back and he just keeps going.
He's still going, yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's just you click anywhere and it's the same John, and he repeats himself like 3 times throughout the hour. So.
Earth not being flat, and then say that it's evidence.
Now they've just turned him down.
Oh, they turned him down.
And
There.
30
he's still
dB.
talking, and
I'm trying to answer your question. If you will pay
I thought
attention,
you were going to answer the fucking question.
I am.
Basketball-sized sun, marble-sized Earth. How
Yeah.
the fuck did your shit happen? I mean, shit, just the Earth would block to make a big old cone shadow off the back and cover up the moon. It'd be black. The only way you'd get a full
John,
moon
which
is when
shit
the
are you talking
moon was
about?
between the sun and the Earth.
John, which shit are you talking about?
And we'd be on the opposite side. We couldn't see it.
See
We'd
what,
be seeing a
Polaris?
big cone shadow off the back of the Earth.
Are you talking about
he's
Polaris?
just yelling.
Yes?
No,
Are
I'm
you...
talking about it all. Yeah.
Right.
I'm asking you
confused
how the
himself
fuck
again.
that shit happens.
Right. Now,
The sun is the size of a basketball,
John, let me answer. John,
and the Earth is the size of a marble. When it's halfway around the motherfucker, how does it see that Polaris, dude?
Right.
You need to be asked 100 times.
Yeah, now
Your turn
stop
to answer.
talking. Okay, now stop talking and listen, and I am going to show you right now. This is a simulation of
You're
our...
going to show me another bullshit drawing?
No, this is a simulation, John, of what you've asked for.
Oh, another
Now-
bullshit drawing.
Now pay
Okay.
attention.
Some more CGI shit. Your real shit CGI.
That's my
cartoons,
CGI
huh?
shit.
You just
Okay.
asked a question.
Dumb
Now let me
fuck.
answer. Right? Here you have the sun and the Earth orbiting it. And if you look up here, there is Polaris. See the white star? Right? Now, no matter where...
Keep trying.
No matter
Keep
where
trying.
the Earth is
Keep
in
trying.
this
You're
orbit...
trying to mislead them now with what's up there? With some
Nothing
more
is going to
magic
block
shit?
the view of
You think
Polaris.
showing me your fake shit is going to prove your shit when I told you real shit like water.
Yeah, no, John, I'm asking your question. Try
Is your
and
fake
focus.
cartoons going to prove that shit to people?
Look, here we go. Right, here's Earth
Look,
orbiting the sun.
750,000 miles wide sun.
Yeah, that's
the
it there.
size of a basketball compared to a marble.
Yeah, that's
Little
what I'm
tiny
showing you.
marble out there in space with a basketball shining on it.
I'm showing
Tell
you
me
that
some
right
more
now.
Scary ass shit.
Look, there's the marble, there's the basketball. You see? Earth, sun, Polaris. At what point would the sun block Polaris from the Earth?
The sun orbits over our head. It's in a circular pattern over
You're
our
stupid.
head.
No,
We
it's not.
watch it as it leaves. It gets smaller and
That's not what you
dimmer and
asked, John.
changes to orange. It's not this big old thing that comes up and goes straight over our head and straight down as we're spinning through space. Come on, psycho.
I'm showing you the answer to your question right now, John.
No, you're not. You're making up a bunch of bullshit for them. You can't show your four-way spin, but you're trying to create it. Put the other 9 planets in there and show their spin as they're spiraling
all the
through
planets
space.
are in here, John.
Show it all spiraling through space. Come on, dude.
There's
Show them
what's
how
happening
this
right
shit
now.
happens. The Helio model. Show them
Yeah.
the real shit. They
This
go
is
look
it.
it up.
This is an actual simulation of it.
4 different way spin. Why aren't you showing it, dude?
I am.
What happened to the 4-way spin?
I'm showing it all the
The
movements
camera's
right now.
also experiencing
No,
the
you're
same
not
spin as
showing
the solar
shit.
system. How about that, jackass? It could be spinning 100 different
What?
ways as
What
long
are
as the
you
camera's
showing?
spinning with it too. As long as the camera's spinning with it too, you wouldn't notice. How about that, dipshit?
Look at
Yeah,
Polaris
try
up there.
again, moron, with your cartoons.
Slow it down a bit, shall
Can
we?
you give us some
That's
real
all
shit?
you
Can
have.
pick
That's
your
all
emoji
you have,
yet?
John.
And that's what he does on Facebook. He's mean. Nobody vomits mean like he does.
Oh,
I
God.
missed the bit where they turn him down.
That was
That's the bit
insane.
I wanted to
All right,
catch.
John.
What happened to the 4-way spin?
I'm showing it all the movements
The camera's
right now.
also hear you talking in the background so they can realize how
What's that
special.
smaller mouth
You've
slant?
said the same
Which one's
stupid
your real
bullshit
one,
that every
dude?
other
Come on.
fucking flat earth idiot comes on here and says. You're nothing, John.
What?
You're not special.
What?
You're not
What?
putting out
'Cause
anything
you can go
fucking
search NASA Globe and see
different.
hundreds of them. So you can go search Robert Simmons.
So
and
you
get
don't. You're
his
not going to
videos
address
saying,
what I just
yeah,
said.
Yeah, they're
you're not going to
all
address what I
Photoshopped,
just
but
said.
They have to be.
What?
We
Hey,
have to make
what?
them how we
Hey,
think they might
what
look.
evidence
Yeah,
do
we
you
know
have
all
that's
about it,
unique?
dude. Why isn't
What
NASA
evidence
helping
do you have that's
Why are they
unique?
paying you
Yeah,
to be
I'm
a
done with
fake
this guy. I'm
con
done with him.
So you can go to prison for conning.
We're going to go to
Yep,
prison,
I'm done.
apparently, team.
Yep, I'm done. Until this guy gets off, I'm done.
I'm just changing the title. Biggest flat earth dumpster fire ever.
I'll talk while you have him muted, but the moment he starts talking, I'm just going to mute myself. It's not even worth having a conversation with this guy.
Oh, no, there is no conversation with this guy. That's quite clear. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, I didn't really know how this was going to go because I've talked to this guy on Facebook, and this is exactly how he is. And this is the personification of Flat Earth. This is what Flat Earth is.
Do me a favor. Hey, do me a favor. Turn him up, but turn him up to like negative 30 dB, just so we can hear him continuously talking while you and I have a conversation.
Oh, he seems to have stopped. John, you there still?
Oh, now you need to cover up the truth, right?
No,
you won't shut the fuck up, dude. You're a fucking idiot. Just let him. Yeah. There you go.
Just there?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we're. No. We're gonna allow people to hear you talking in the background so they can realize how delusional you are. But yes, that's what we're going to do. Okay, I have no idea where you got this guy fight. This guy is a complete fucking moron.
Oh, big time. Big time. He says that anything with the word theory in is fake. He says the word hemisphere is fake.
Yeah, he said the fucking southern hemisphere doesn't fucking exist. Are you fucking kidding me?
He also said
I mean,
you
how
can
fucking
see
stupid
Polaris.
do you have to be?
Apparently you
Yeah,
can see Polaris
I know.
in MC Toon. Are you free? Do you want to come in?
Search the word globe, and that's quarters of a million miles wide, but hit the furthest point out.
I'm gonna send MC Toon.
Yeah, dude. Sure alright, man. You sure alright. So fucking smart.
Come on, dude, an angle.
You're a fucking moron, dude. Very well, pay attention. Me, Fight, and MC Toon are about to have a conversation, and it appears that you...
Just to ask John a quick question.
That's what it
Hey,
does
hey
when
John,
you attack
what do you
people
think about the
that tell you the
coronavirus?
truth, psycho. Yeah, I told you the truth, and you attacked me. That
John,
makes you a psycho.
John, what do you think about the
100%
coronavirus?
guaranteed.
You sound so funny when you do that high-pitched voice.
John,
Hey,
Damascus
John, question. Can you do the high-pitched voice for the rest of the show, please? That was pretty hilarious.
Call me on another line or something?
Well, we know you're stupid. We could just play your voice to allow people to hear you. I mean, we don't. At this point, we don't have to add anything to make you look dumber than you already
because
look.
there's nothing for you.
In fact,
You
John,
just told
I'm gonna make a.
Brad Dubay, Eric's younger brother, for $5. John is a special kind of spaz
more of
tool.
him actually getting the
Yeah, I don't really like the word spaz.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
for
that's
$2.
the end here.
Litmus test, please. It would have been impossible.
Well, why's Craig grabbing these people for?
Well,
One logical
few
reason,
and
but
far between now, I think, Terry.
I don't know. He doesn't have a conversation, so that's not right. He's just doing it for the entertainment value by the sound of it. Okay. Oh, Jose's out there. I've been listening for 5 minutes. Not impressed. No, I'm not impressed either, Jose. I don't know who else had anything out there. Oh, PhD Tony did 1,000 subscriber upload. Okay. Brainy Beaver uploaded Ultra Stupid with JP Spears, tearing apart bad math. Modern Day Debates did something. Jose uploaded Space News Discord Night, Issa versus Rez, and more. Ranty uploaded Ranty's show with Brandon Chit Chat. Was Ranty on his show, or is he actually handed the reins over to somebody else? Who else do we got? One minute conspiracy debunk. So we were going to do the 1 minute debunk thing too. We were going to play them back to back. Try thinking. Who's try thinking?
Bev.
Oh, Bev.
Level is horizontal.
RC does obfuscation of the datum. How long does that go for? Oh, it goes for 48 minutes. Nope, I will not play. I won't play that. That goes a bit too long. Who else is there? CC uploaded something. He said I haven't gone anywhere or something. I don't know how long ago that was.
He'll be in his car as usual, won't he?
23 hours ago. Bob was playing around with his telescope in his backyard the other day.
I love the clip of CC where he's in his kitchen explaining something and his wife tells him to stop the bullshit.
I need to have recorded that, so I've got that put away. No, that's funny. That is funny, that one.
Yeah.
Dong ding. What's a dong ding? I'm getting a dong ding. Who else is there? Who else uploaded? Who else? Anton's been dropping a few. What's that, John? John Rat, not that, this John, the other John. It seems that Ranty has taken up Arctic Reflections and Wolfie's offer for him to attend.
Oh, really? That'd be interesting.
For attend Norway for that photography and observations tutorial.
Well, he should.
Oh no, Zebulon's got a problem. I busted my flip-flop stepped on a pop-top. Okay. We needed to know that.
So Zebulon needs a new thong, does he?
Yeah. He only said the one, so only got to buy one.
Double plugs.
Hey, Flippy Floppy. What are you up to?
Yeah, mate.
Hey, Jose.
What else have we got?
Hello, I'm a flat earther.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no. You woke up on the flat side of the bed.
Okay, water's flat and what's the other ones? I was going to do Bandy's one. Bandy's is water's flat. His plumb bobs are level, and he does the push pull thing too, but that's
I'm a flat earther. It's not that I believe that the shape of the earth is flat, it's a sphere, but I don't believe in all the bullshit that surrounds the fantasy of the globe.
Oh, okay. So
like the sun being 93 million miles away, like the distance to the stars are like light years. Like gravity is a force, but really not a force necessarily. Like 95% of the known universe is unknown. Shit like that,
Well, we need to get a tape measure and measure it from here to the sun, Jose, to see exactly how far it is.
Got one in the shed.
I guess so, yeah. I cannot even fathom how somebody tell me what is the core of the sun or the core of any planet or the moon, if you want to say, even the earth. I don't even understand how can somebody tell me what is in the middle of the earth. And I'm not here to explain what I believe or not
Rich here.
believe. There's here, and I can take a leap of faith, and I can just believe what people say. I don't have to preach it. I don't have to regurgitate it. I just say like, all right, I'll take it. But for somebody to defend and tell me how shit work, I don't buy that.
You're a flat earther, Jose. You can make assertions without evidence, right?
No. I just want to understand why people believe and defend with their heart and soul these claims
Well,
that they make about the game.
that's the core of what belief is.
Not a question of belief. There's people that have been doing it for, the whole career, their whole life, going to university studying this stuff. And
It's
the
a shame we don't have
outcomes
Tony on here. He would be able to explain to you the seismology and geophysics side of the equation.
No. I want to learn from the globe proponents, from the best. I don't believe any of the flat earthers, anything what they say.
Oh yeah, but PhD Tony is a geophysicist.
Well, it's not that I'm gonna just listen to what somebody tell me and say like, yes, I bow to you, master. I believe everything you say. No.
No. And I wouldn't recommend that either. But
no.
I think he'd be able to give you either access to, relative documents, papers, keywords that you could look into to further your study. That's what I mean. But seismology was also, it's quite a definitive understanding, because we can test the machines on the surface using different materials and record the speed in which the waves come back.
How far down will they go? How far deep in?
Well, because of the locations of the seismographs across the world, in different locations, they reach each other. So when an earthquake happens in one place, it actually goes through the earth to the other side and is detected by other places quicker than it is detected in local area, because it's actually going through the earth.
You want to show me an example of any of those? Or this is what I was saying. You just say because you heard it and you learned it, and you just tell me so I can believe it too.
No, they're known as P and S waves. So the shadow, the P waves are able to go through, but the S waves cannot penetrate through the center of the earth. So they're known as shadow waves. And then there's also other S waves that are shear waves that are detected along the surface. So we know that there's something of the density at that depth that slows down the wave itself, and we test this by doing things called induced seismology, where we set off charges where we know we know we're about to let this charge off, and then we measure those waves that are detected.
By we, you may they, whoever do this.
Yeah, we as in the human race.
They, whoever is practicing this, Because you are not, right? You don't work with seismology?
Absolutely
Anybody?
not. Absolutely
I don't
not.
either. So it's not we, it's them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing here, this bring me back memories when I start looking into how did people know how the brain works. And back in the day, they needed to actually open human skulls to know how they work before they even invented all of these machines to read what's inside, So this is a lot like this. They can measure everything they want, but until they get down there, they will never know. They will just give us their best guess because they got some kind of a data coming back. So they have to just trust on the data. It's solid, and they can give us this pretty drawing with yellows and oranges.
Yeah, you're right there, Jose. I mean, that is absolutely correct, that they can only trust the data because they literally can't go down there and look. But if they do it in a number of different ways and, experiment and collect different types of data, And if all of these kinds of data corroborate each other, then it's more likely that it's true what they're saying. But you're right that they'll never really 100% know because they can't witness it them very selves. But they can be reasonably certain by using a number of different varied methods for collecting their data.
Yeah, also with examining rocks, from millions of years, that's pushed up from thousands or hundreds of miles down the Earth that come up to the surface, with tectonics.
By the way, good hearing you, John.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
out,
mate.
man.
Yeah.
So, Jose told me about you.
Sorry, mate.
Jose JG told me about you, that you always checking on his show and commenting.
Yeah,
and
mate.
Oh, we've got a naked person out in the chat.
So okay, so let's see. Do you people that you brought this? Do you got any type of diagram on like the actual data measured? Not this as a whole, because nobody. I mean, this is way out there, and you have to just. I mean, this is nothing here. This is yellows and oranges with nice little doodles. But do you have any? Do you have any type of like graph with actual data from one of these seismographs and shit?
There was a big earthquake. I think it was 2004. I think it was a Sumatran earthquake, and it's been modeled to show. Obviously, it's not the real time.
Not a model to show, but like actual data. How would you how do you take a leap of faith because they tell you we got all the data. I'm gonna show you in a model. We have measured all of this. I'm gonna show you the overall, the big picture. No, something that actually show us.
Well, no, because the model that I was referring to was based on the data, so it remapped the data that was detected from the earthquake at the times they were detected to show what the data showed in totality across the whole world. That's what I mean, and that's something you couldn't see because it's seismic activity. You can't even film seismic activity. You can only feel it. So
I mean, so we're also feeling the center of the earth, but we are thinking it's roughly 4,000 miles under our feet.
Well, we know how long it takes to a wave will travel through certain areas of the earth.
Do
because
you?
we can
Every
measure
material, every material under our feet, layer after layer, every 10 miles down, everything is known, 100% known. Yes.
Well, if you think about it like this, the way I try to imagine it is that they've got two.
I don't want to imagine. I want to know, man. I don't want. That's why I talk about fantasy earlier. This is a lot of
I get what you're saying, but when I
on.
say imagine, I mean visualize in your mind two places of opposite location, one side of the world, the other side of the world.
Yeah, this is La La Land. That's La La Land.
And they both let off. Well, the one lets off a charge and records it.
Show me in real life. So something, a picture of the two sides of the earth, and don't come with a picture of the earth from space. Don't go away from the center of the earth. But you're telling me a thought experiment that can never be visualized.
Would this video be any good for us to watch?
On the
Creative Commons.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But on the premise that the Earth is a globe, that's the visualization. That's where it begins.
So you need that premise. You need to think that premise first in order for it to work the way you are told it works.
Well, the seismic waves and detection of them are. It's a directionality, is the key here. So which way they came from, because they knew they were about to let it off, and at which time they were able to record them. I mean, seismographs are very, 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 what's the word? Sensitive. If you tap a seismograph, it goes off the scale.
And
so
it goes
you can imagine
tens and hundreds and thousands of miles down inside the Earth, right?
Correct. At different
Oh, that was
dips.
a big bold claim there. Correct, you say.
I don't think they'd go hundreds of thousands of miles because the Earth ain't
Yeah.
that big.
I say hundreds and thousands, hundreds and thousands of miles.
That's what I took it as. I say hundreds and thousands, but yeah, not
And
hundreds and
thousands,
thousands. Yeah.
No, I didn't say hundreds of thousands.
We've got a video here we could watch, Jose. It goes for 5 minutes.
I'll also post this.
Will this show like the real deal?
We haven't watched it.
It's
so
showing us how we detect seismic waves visualizing Earth's layers. So it's got some data.
If you wanna play it, I might have an objection.
Yes, you may. I'm counting on it.
Skepticism is healthy.
So how do seismic waves help us visualize Earth's layers? Other videos talk about the causes of earthquakes. Let's look at the ways earthquakes generate physical waves and how this helps us determine the layers of the Earth. And although there are various waves generated, there are 4 common types. We group these as body waves, those waves which travel through the body of the Earth. Those include compressional or P waves. P stands for primary. Also, there are transverse or S waves. S stands for, well, you guessed it, secondary waves. There are also Rayleigh waves and Love waves. These travel along the surface of the Earth.
Just a very quick objection. What we are witnessing here now is what this guy learned from the guy that learned previous to him, This is regurgitation at its best. Carry on.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that because we don't know how he's learnt this.
And are known, again, as surface waves. In this video, let's just stick to P and S, or primary and secondary waves, since they're the ones that tell us the most about the Earth's layers. P waves, or compressional waves, travel through material that make up the Earth. But as it does, it will reach different seismograph stations at different times. So the waves actually reach stations closer to the sooner, and then they will reach stations that are actually further away from the wave as it goes through. It takes longer for the wave to reach stations farther away. Remember, these waves are not traveling across the surface, but through the body of the planet. And when we compare time and distance the wave travels between stations, then we can determine speed. So here's a graph of the speed of a P wave as it travels.
Yeah, disagree.
The first thing.
You disagree?
Now, yes. Where did he get this idea of these waves are not going through the surface, they're going deep, whatever wording he used? Why can't it be a layer maybe of 10 miles deep from my feet down, 10 miles, and that's what moves, and that's what gives the waves away? Where are they making this guess and leap of faith that is going very deep down?
I think it's to do with the shape of the wave that travels through a solid surface, like a sound wave or like through air, and so when it goes out, propagates from a certain point on the surface, it goes in all different directions at the same time, like on a pond where you drop a pebble in the water and it goes out. So if that wave's travelling out from that centre point, it's going to reach another point somewhere else and be detected. Now,
this water down in the pond, very deep down, is not getting undisturbed. It's getting nothing. Maybe it's a layer of a foot or 2 feet above the pond that is 10 foot down, but the 8 foot is not getting nothing. But then the top 2 feet is what's getting this motion. Can that be happening on the Earth?
I think we'd need a seismologist to answer those specific questions. Where's Tony when we need him?
Thing we notice is that speed is not constant, but it actually changes. The speed of the wave is normally constant in a material with uniform density and composition. When a wave reaches a boundary between different material, we normally see a change in the both speed and direction of the wave, a very abrupt change. We actually see this happen with a pencil in water. The pencil is not being bent, just the rays of light we are detecting are being bent as they travel from the water to the glass, and then from the glass to the air, and then, well, to us. This is called refraction, and it's common to waves, including seismic waves. So let's look at our data again. Anywhere along this data where we see speed changing abruptly, we're actually encountering a difference in material. Gradual changes in speed are probably just the result of increasing density of the material. Notice the abrupt change at the boundary between the mantle and the outer core. And let's expand this data to look at the data both from the surface all the way to the center of the Earth. Remember that when the speed of the wave changes, so does its direction. We can see here how P waves are being bent abruptly at changes in composition, and they bend gradually to propagate in a curve, so to speak, as the density is increasing. This bending of the wave as it radiates outward from a point means some seismographs won't even detect the wave at all. They're in what we call a shadow zone. Now let's compare this data to the S wave for a moment. Notice that the S wave is actually slower than the P wave. This is why we call P waves primary. They move faster, they arrive at the seismograph stations sooner. Secondary waves are slower, but that's not the only difference that we notice in this data. Notice that the speed of the S wave at the outer core is, well, it's 0. It appears that S waves don't travel in the outer core at all. Something is different about the outer core than the other layers of the Earth. S waves differ from P waves in that S waves are transverse, P waves are compressional. And these diagrams of transverse and compressional waves are designed to help you visualize the difference. Take a minute and notice the difference in their motion. The top images are in a single plane. The bottom images actually visualize the motion in 2D. S waves, due to the way they propagate, cannot travel in liquids. This is why we notice a speed of 0 in the outer core. The outer core is in a liquid state. However, notice S waves can travel through all parts of the mantle, including the asthenosphere.
I got questions. I got this guy just talking, and I see a graph in here. I'm not following this graph. What is this red and blue line? And what is this little yellow thing in the next to it? I mean, I can ignore the yellow in the right, but these two graphs, the red and blue.
Red line is the P waves, the green line is the S waves, and it shows how they travel at different speeds. And it shows
S
you that
is the surface, right? The S is the more above the surface, or is that the P?
No, they're different types of waves, Jose. The P waves and S waves are actually physically different kinds of waves. If you think about it in terms of a slinky spring, there are two ways we can send a wave down the slinky. We can shake the slinky from side to side. That's called a transverse wave, and that's what an S wave is in the Earth. It's a shear wave. Or we can pull a little bit of the slinky towards us and compress it and then let it go. That's what we call a compressional wave. And that's what the P waves are. They're pressure waves. It's like when you hit a piece of metal on the end, it sends a pressure wave down the piece of metal. Okay. Or if you pluck a guitar string, it vibrates from side to side. That's like an S wave going down the guitar string. Okay, a shear wave. And it turns out that you can't shake water from side to side to send a wave through it because it's liquid, but you can compress it to send a wave through it. So you can apply a pressure wave to water and the pressure will be transmitted through the water. And that's how you can hear sounds through water, because the pressure wave propagates through the water. But you can't shake water from side to side and expect a wave to travel through it. It doesn't happen.
Now, what I see, I mean, thank you for the explanation. Maybe somebody else, will appreciate that better. Maybe I'll appreciate it later if it works in my subconscious. But what I see in this graph is a 0 depth. I'm okay with that. We'll say surface in this yellow block. Maybe I might be okay, even though it's really way out there, 1,000 kilometers down what the hell is that? 1,000 kilometers, right? Is that 1,000 kilometers depth? This first yellow top block? What is going on here? Where is this machines? What is this? How do I know that these measurements are this deep?
They can measure the speed of the wave by measuring the speed, like the time it takes to get to different seismic stations through different portions of the Earth, and the way that the waves are actually transmitted, whether they're pressure waves or shear waves. They can also detect the reflected waves from surfaces. Like, you know, when you look out your window at night and you see a reflection of the inside of your room in the window.
Is how we know
it's
that
because
the
some of the
Venus-
light.
Sorry.
It's because some of the light is being reflected from the window surface. So glass doesn't only transmit light; it also reflects some of the light too, because it's a boundary. Okay, and the same thing happens with boundaries in the Earth's structure. That any time a wave, whether it be a P wave or an S wave, has to transition across one of those boundaries, you're going to get a reflected wave and a transmitted wave. And you can detect those reflected waves and how long they take to come back. And that's how you can tell how deep that boundary is. And by knowing how long, thanks, Terry, and you can tell how long it takes that wave to be reflected, and so you can tell the distance because you know what speed the wave's traveling at.
So with these waves, is it when they figured out, they said like, yeah, we're gonna start digging, and the Russians start digging down, right? And they say like, yeah, we know what's down there. At least we're gonna go a mile at a time. They keep going and digging, 1 mile, 2 mile, 5 miles, 6 miles, and they were baffled by the material they found. They thought they had it. They thought they knew what they were doing, but they were getting all kinds of layers that they weren't expecting. Is that true? So this might be happening with these waves going down?
That was early on in the days of seismology, you know. So, and as well as that, they were detecting things like probably the best explanation I can probably give for that is that they didn't have the right equipment to detect the layers that they actually did find when they were digging. Okay, so they're finding.
But today they know. Today they know what's 100 miles under our feet. You're telling me.
Yeah, and they can use the data that they gathered from that. They can use the data that they gathered from that borehole now to refine their techniques. And
I mean, I don't have to believe it. You can explain it and people would appreciate it, but I don't believe what's under my feet until they physically dig. I mean, it's bullshit when you tell me what's 200, 300, 1,000 miles under my feet, or more over freaking 4,000 miles to the center of the earth. I call bullshit, but carry on.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, but, you know, it ultimately it does end up being just our best guess, Jose. You're right.
Well, they use some seismology to detect oil in different layers. When they're doing.
They do.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish this video. I wanna see.
The sphere is actually solid. So through analyzing seismic data from P waves, we're determining the depths at which we can see compositional changes, the changes in the actual material that makes up the Earth. And also by studying S waves, that helps us to determine the physical state of the material, namely that all the rock that we see in the layers of our Earth seem to be solid except for that rock that exists in the outer core.
That was it.
Very nice. It's like I got a. How do you call those devices for doctors to hear the heart? Stethoscope?
Ultrasound.
What? No, the little stethoscope, right? So I got that just on my put on my feet on the ground. I said, let me see, let me close my eyes and put some blindfold. All right, go ahead. And I hear a car going brrr, and I hear that's a Toyota 1997, and this is the motor they're using, and he has some kind of device, and it's blue and red insiders, and he got a gun in the little pocket thing. And then send the other one. So by sounds, vibrations, and diffuse fumes, I know exactly what type of car, who is driving it, and what they ate in the morning. That's the way I see this.
Go on, Mark.
Some doctors actually do use these kind of techniques. So what they do is they put the stethoscope on your stomach and then they tap your stomach with their hand. And what they do is they listen for that sound in their stethoscope. And of course, what's going to happen is that that tapping is going to be transmitted into your abdomen, and it's going to be reflected off various structures in your abdomen. But it's going to be reflected in different ways by different kinds of things, like a tumor or a liquid patch or things like that. And so a very well-trained doctor can actually do some kind of initial determination of something that might not quite sound right or might not be quite right in there, and then they'll follow up with an ultrasound or a CT scan or something like that to confirm. But as an initial diagnosis tool, it can be quite useful.
So if he hears the sound repeating back and forward, repeat over a period of time, it'll sound like an echo, and then you just go, "Oh, there should be something in there. Your stomach's empty."
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I mean, they measure what's under our feet very deep down with waves. I can make the claim that just by me listening to something with a little device radar gun, I can see through the walls and I can know what people is doing inside their places. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure people, like if you were able to transport yourself back in time with the ground penetrating radar and use that the people at the time would probably think you're using magic, Jose.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes, really quick.
Was I muted? Sorry. So are we all clear, or we still need to investigate this further?
It's a question, if you want to learn something, you've got to study it. Just don't make things up.
Yeah.
Okay. What else have we got? And I haven't got anything planned, as usual.
I like Milkman Dan's comment. Start digging, Jose. There's a Nobel Prize waiting for you at the center of the earth.
He's having a dig at you, mate.
Yeah.
All right. So I got like 5 minutes maybe to go. Sorry to hijack your show, Terry. But
No,
that's all right.
No, that's
fun.
That's the after before pre-show, after shows like this. It's just whatever.
It's always good to hear you, mate.
Where can I would like to see? I haven't researched any of these machines that measure these waves. I would like to see, not one necessarily working, but how do they look? Who does this work? Where can I look into to find this type of devices?
Ooh.
Good question.
Because it's a lot of pretty stories, but until if they tell me there's a laser gun that make M&Ms when you shoot to grass, a pile of grass, and until I find the source and I see it, I say like, all right, yeah, there's a gun that I can shoot to grass and make M&Ms, you know. But you know,
yeah.
I can either believe it and repeat it, but if I find it and see it, like it would be cooler than you know, just regurgitate it.
Well, just have to look up seismology in general, and
yeah, there are companies out there that do seismological sort of like prospecting and imaging for various purposes, like finding oil or finding structures below the earth, finding fault lines, you know, doing a geological survey to find out if there's like, if you're going to be burying something that you don't want leaking out into the water table or something, you know, they want to know what the geology is like under there. So they survey it using the seismic waves and find out whether there's any faults under there that might leak through or things like that. I don't know, you could perhaps contact one of those companies, or you could contact the geology department of a local university maybe and ask there.
You guys haven't been curious on seeing one of these machines, or who does the job? Would you just guys learn it because you heard the explanations and read books and stuff and repeat it, but you actually haven't seen the machine? You haven't
I've seen the
can you
machine.
guide me
It
through
started off as like a needle with a pen tip on the end, very sensitive. I mean, I think these seismographs date back to like Egypt, you know, so they're aware that there was something rumbling, but now they call them, I think, accelerographs, and they're very technical machines, like a big box that sits inside a custom shaft inside a building, normally inside concrete, and so that they're away from any of the ground movement themselves, and so when the earth shakes, they know that that's shaking, and they're so sensitive that if you touched it, it would be measuring the biggest earthquake ever known to man, you know. So that's how sensitive they are. So they're very, very accurate. And if you search a accelegraph, you might find one. But back in the day, we could only measure them on paper, and now we can literally grid and map them. Terry, I sent you a link in the internal chat here of that the model that basically shows the Earth and how the different waves go through. Now it is a model, but I still think it's beneficial because it shows you the time from the beginning of the earthquake to how long it took certain detection centers across the world to detect it. So it's mapping it with real data in a model, obviously, because it's
So this machine, a little base with a hanging thing, with a little ball and stuff, can measure thousands of miles under my feet, you're telling me? Interesting.
Of course it can, because it's physically.
Of course it can, because you have learned it, and that's why you have the only thing you learned, and you never challenged it.
No, because it's very, very sensitive, and it's below the Earth's surface, and it's lower than normally shafts.
To be clear, though, Jose, it's not measuring what's happening thousands of miles down under your feet. It's measuring what's happening on the surface. It can only measure what's happening on the surface. That's given, all right. But by analysing all the measurements from different locations of what we see on the surface, we can reconstruct a picture of what is happening down below, because those waves must have arrived.
That's the speculation. That was my first question to the center of the Earth.
Yeah,
why am I seeing this picture in the screen with an inner core and an outer core if maybe all you can measure is the mantle area? Well, who came out with the outer core and the inner core? What kind of bullshit is that?
Right. Now I'll finish what I was trying to say, Jose, is that by now analysing that data that we collected from the surface from a number of stations, we can speculate. And you're right, it is speculation. But different speculations, we can test those speculations and see if they make logical sense, okay, by building different models and seeing how that those waves should travel through those models, and by doing that we can reconstruct what's actually happening in the ground underneath.
It's a lot of ease and guesses and speculations.
Sure, it is, but it's also based on a lot of collected data. You know, a lot of data collected on how fast waves travel through certain materials. I mean, we can do that in a laboratory. We can literally figure out how fast waves travel through basalt and granite and stuff like that. We don't have to look deep underground to know those things. We can find out in a lab how fast the waves.
Of course, you don't have to look down. Somebody very quote unquote smart came out with this guess and idea. They say, yeah, this is how the Earth should work. Everybody, yes, agree. Sign, get my vote. I second that. And everybody's running with it, period.
But we know how waves work. We can create them.
Yeah, but you don't know what's deep down on the center of the Earth. Period.
And so if we measure something, then we know, okay, well that took that much force, and then can we generate that wave again? Yep, we can generate that wave again. Okay, can we test it against this metal? I mean, a wave is either going to go through it or not. You could literally put the rock type there, build a rock out of a certain material, sorry, a wall out of a certain material, and test the machine. You know, these are very, very simple things to do, because waves are frequencies, so we can generate frequencies. We can generate sine waves. You know, we can generate all these different things. You know, and so, you know, radio stations themselves are a form of wave. So it's not like we're in the dark about waves, you know, and what they can do and what they can't do. We know whether they pass through metal because we can use wave detection systems on the other side of a tank, or, you know, inside the water, or, you know, there's lots of ways we can test these things right on the surface. So we're not blindly asserting these things, you know, as you know, as science itself.
What I take the final answer is, well, how do you know these layers of the earth with the pretty colors? You should find one with pretty colors, Terry, so we can make it more, more palpable.
This is
so
more
how
about
do,
showing
so,
the waves themselves,
okay,
though, not the pretty colors.
Okay,
so if you push play again, Terry, you can see that they got
we know.
surface
So
waves.
we know. So final answer is we know what's in the center of the earth and the layers with all the pretty colors that we are shown because of waves. Got it. Thank you very much, Terry. I'm out of here. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
No, we don't know.
Okay,
We don't know, Jose.
Who was that
okay.
masked man?
No, I don't really, you know, I don't consider I consider data, lack of data at all. I consider data at least something to be tested. Now, we know how long it takes to get from one place to another by boat. We know how long it takes to get there at a speed in a plane. We know how, if we can drive there, how long it takes. We know at which angle we're driving. We know at which, you know, acceleration. All of these things we can calculate. So if we've got detection stations there, and now we're passing data between these things by inducing seismic activity, we know that those waves are correct. We know the travel times of those waves, you know, and I think the fact we look at Earth from space pretty much tells us it's a globe. So we know we're working with a globe, and we know the distances because we've got heavy geodesic equipment now, like LiDAR systems that use multiple laser penetration, you know, in one area to literally draw in 3D the topology of the land. We know we can do this. You can buy this now for yourself at a retail store. It's not like a hidden technology. So I think putting this all together, we have a pretty good understanding of what's going on, you know, and the
I don't
amount
think they realize how much prior research goes into these theories. That it's not just a guess. It's not just something that someone made up in a year or two. It's a whole body of scientific data that's been collected over hundreds of years that goes into these theories and these models. So it's not just something that we just make up and guess and it's our best guess, you know.
And we can also take mineral samples. Sorry, John. We can also take mineral samples and test the rock and see its composition. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
This is not unknown to us.
Yeah.
Also, during the Cold War, the United States, England, and Australia had measuring the USS nuclear testing, and they triangulated where the tests were from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why countries can't get away with doing nuclear testing now, because we can detect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, you know, with our detection systems, we measure the wave in which it was detected. We can actually know the shape of the wave, you know, and it's a full measurement because it's a detection in reverse all the way back. And if you've ever been in an earthquake, you know that it's not just like one earthquake shake. It's a constant shaking, you know, and so it's pulsing the whole ground underneath you. And, you know, that's how we know what depth these things are, you know. Shallow earthquakes equal bad day, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, you get a 5 or 6 on the Richter scale, you know, 50 kilometers under the earth, you'll be okay. But if that's 5 kilometers, you've probably got broken buildings and death, you know. So I think it was only a 5.6 at 5 kilometers that killed 187 people in New Zealand. So, you know, only 10 years ago. So
yeah,
I think we do. We're not. There is. Of course, no one's been to the center of the Earth. Speculation, but the idea of caverns and the testing that there was once lava flow through those caverns, and you know what I mean. These type of things lead us to believe, we have a pretty good understanding. So
Yeah, and
I
they are
wouldn't say
always
we're in the dark.
and they are always finding out new things too. Like a recent discovery was the way that these massive crystals grow at the boundary between the inner and outer core. So, and a lot of heat transfer is explained, and heat generation is explained by this discovery too. So they are finding out new things as they get better and better equipment to see things with more and more resolution at those depths.
That's exactly right. And I think, skepticism is healthy, but also to write off an entire at least 100 years of scientific, refinement and discovery and development from pen systems to true digital mapping systems. I couldn't say there's nothing there, and that's an international effort. It's not just one country with a bias. So, yeah, especially if they notice seismic activity on volcanoes and things, they're like, okay, don't go near that volcano this month because it's volatile,
Yeah.
So all these types of things.
It is a typical cry, though. I think it's suspect because I don't understand it.
Well, and not being able to see it, not being able to see it is true. But take this model, for example, that we've got on the screen now. It's showing us half of the Earth at once. Now we'd have to be like on the ISS to see this, but then showing us how the waves were, this is 2011. So they've had 9 years to work with data to recreate what the detection centers all over the world picked up, and at the times they detected them, and I think that this is pretty significant. If you look at the left hand side and you look at the data there, and you look at the location, and you look at also the way in which they were detected across the surface, gives us the understanding that the S waves is a true thing. The fact we can detect S waves is a true thing, and the speed at which they travel denotes, that they're going through down somewhere and out the other side at the same distance that we say the globe is.
Well, the beauty is that, as shown there, that you can actually build a model that does explain how these waves arrive at those times.
Exactly.
And it's all sort of like internally consistent. Sure, go ahead and build a flat Earth model that shows how these things do. And if you can, show how these waves can be detected at those times on a flat Earth model or any other model, go for it. I'd be happy to look at it,
Yeah, I think this explains it.
I think if you take the idea of a ripple in a pond, right? You throw a pebble and you see the outer ripples come out from where that pebble landed in the pond. It goes out in a linear fashion. Now, if we were on a flat Earth and the detection systems were going off in locations that were actually already past the ripple, or it wouldn't make sense because it would already be passing them, or detected on the outer, which is actually underneath through the Earth faster than the locations closer to the actual ripples, then that means that the rings wouldn't have even reached them yet either. So this idea that it can be a flat Earth is thrown out the window on that alone, because the ripple wouldn't have even reached at the time it's detected. So
yeah, and also contrary to Jose's claim that nothing is happening 10 foot down when you throw that, nothing's rippling or waving 10 foot down, I would query that, because if you put a hydrophone, like a microphone that works underwater, 10 foot down, and you toss a rock in the pool, I'll guarantee you that hydrophone is going to hear that rock hit the water, because you're going to have pressure waves transferred through the water.
Absolutely.
And how
that's how sonar works, isn't it?
Yeah, and whales.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think our understanding of waves is pretty high tech. Like now we can generate them, we can detect them to the literally catch the frequency of a wave running over the top of our head. Like you just put up a rangefinder and be like, oh yep. Just like when they go into one of those areas and they check the current Wi-Fi or something, and they see like which way the wave's going and how much area it's in, and they know where to put the repeaters. And and this is all understanding of the technology that's only being bettered every year. So
Anybody that's done serious fishing, that's sonar is the best thing to use. You can pick if there's any schools or fish,
exactly.
shells. Yeah,
Some of these fish finders are what, like $20,000 because they're guaranteed to draw you a map of like what's down there. Yeah. So,
yeah, John. I bet these schools of fish are only parroting what the other fish have taught them.
Oh yeah, sorry, mate.
It would have been interesting if we had Tony here, though, to speak on this matter. I'm going to write this one down to ask him more about. I actually, he did do a video on seismology, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
But it was very, very basic, just a
a
2D thing explaining it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We'll keep this for Tony for next time we're talking to him, because we can play this and and that'll explain a lot. Okay. I'll pinch that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Copy.
What I was listening for when I first played the simulation was the beeps, because when it has a beep, it means the seismic waves have been detected at that station, and so you get like this idea. It's like beep, beep, beep. It's like as it's going out. But how strong they must have been. It's pretty cool to know too.
I have a quick point to make, if I may.
Oh, Flip Flop's back.
Go for it.
Oh.
I have a quick point to make, if I may.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. No Name, just a few minutes ago, he go, about ultrasounds. He said, all ultrasounds cartoons? I say, like, what kind of question is that, ultrasound cartoons? He's telling me same thing. I asked him, he told me ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information. Fair. So I asked him a question. So small scale to big scale, that's an easy question to answer. And that was for No Name. And then some people shine in, but I never got an answer. I answered a very honest question. He told me ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information. I want a clarification. Small scale to big scale, yes or no? I never got a question. But what No Name and others are doing are being flat earthers. They're asking me all kinds of questions. They're not giving me an answer. So No Name and others, you are more flat earthers than many flat earthers. You are using the same strategy of flat earthers. You are unable to answer questions. Shame on you. I'm out of here.
All right. Okay.
He stirred the pot up. This Flip Flop stirs the pot. Oh, that was Jose that time.
I think.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I think if we
that wasn't Flip Flop.
If we took some time I don't really have right now, but if we took some time to research this, I'm sure if we put a good day or so into finding the material and working it out, and we could do a history of the seismograph type technology. But right now, what are we on? We're on Industrial Revolution. So
yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
I think it would be a valid topic, and maybe we could prepare PhD Tony to come in and teach us what he knows and what he understands. Because remember, I put to him the claim about the fault lines being non-existent was the claim from Lemonbeard, that tectonic plates didn't exist, and he was able to talk about tectonic stability of Australia. So there's obviously understanding there. So it'd be interesting. I mean, I'm not going to write off an entire body of science that works on data at this stage. I mean, I don't deny the latest pictures from the space launches, and I don't deny that the satellites are up there, and I don't deny technology that mapped the geode for over 2 years back in 2013, between 2011 and 2013. I don't deny these things, and so if I use these in conjunction with what I already learned about the seismic activity, we draw a globe multiple ways, from the ground, from the inside the ground, from above the ground, and constantly. So there's going to be there's no more debate over the shape of the Earth. We know it through and through, literally. Now, what it is consisting at the middle of the Earth really doesn't matter. But we know the magma comes from somewhere, don't we? So, yeah. But definitely an interesting topic. Definitely.
Yes,
definitely. Just like we don't know what's inside the sun, but we know how to use the sun.
No name. What did you get dragged in here for? I didn't say anything.
Was that not you? You sounded a lot like Jose. Are you sure?
Yeah, I know. We had flip flop come in, and then all of a sudden Jose dropped in.
Yeah. I think they're related. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
they
they're
could have
connected in some way.
They could have the same mothers,
same
but not
haircut.
the same fathers, maybe.
Yeah. So I came in to address Jose's question, whereas his question is somehow valid, and his question consisted of big scale to small scale, whereas my question was a complete question with a subject and a verb and all that good stuff. So I asked him, were ultrasounds cartoons, because he kept saying that these seismographic images, or implying that these seismographic images were cartoons, because we take data and then we map that data out, just like an ultrasound, just like any digital camera. It's not a question of scale, Jose. What the hell does scale have to do with it? And your question isn't a yes or no question. So again, it's a malformed question. I can't respond to it with a yes or no, because there is no question there.
And we're bringing some heat from the US today, Terry.
Yeah, doggy.
Y'all need to calm down.
We'll expect a ding dong in a moment with Jose coming back.
Y'all need.
Tell him he said this. Tell him he's wrong.
Y'all need to learn how to chill.
I got my shotgun.
Oh no, it's rubbing off.
But then if flip flop comes in, we'd have a real. Oh no! Is that flip flop or Jose? Wait a minute, just look. Oh no, it's flip flop. It's okay. It's okay. It's only flip flop. I had me worried then. I thought it was going to be Jose.
It's healthy. It's healthy.
Yeah.
It's healthy.
So I was a bit worried, flip flop, that it was going to be Jose. So it's okay.
No, it's me. And flip flop allow me to use his account.
Okay.
I don't have one.
I'm
Jose.
You
and I
guys
don't
must
have
be
an
tight.
account.
You guys must be tight. I tell you.
Now, no-name statement was, and I quote, ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information. Now, how big do I need to make an ultrasound to get the same information as seismic sensors? The ultrasound is a small machine, small scale, that can measure small things. A seismic sensor,
That's a dumbass,
apparently,
malformed question, Jose. That's why I said that.
already
because the
interrupting me.
question
I
is
still
malformed.
haven't finished my point. I still haven't finished my
Don't
statement.
interrupt him.
So,
Let him.
Seismic
complete.
sensor will be measuring a deeper and bigger wave and a bigger and deeper thing. So that means, are you telling me, and it's a yes or no answer, you telling me that a machine in small scale, we can we can use we can analyze data as the same information as seismic waves. So small scale, ultrasound, big
No.
scale seismic sensor.
No,
Is
I'm
in
not
the,
telling you that
is
at
in the
all.
same.
That's why I kept interrupting you, because your question is malformed. For one thing, a seismograph is actually smaller than an ultrasound machine. I don't know if you've ever seen an ultrasound machine or a seismograph.
Okay,
but it's not like you have to scale up an ultrasound to the size of a skyscraper.
I'm not talking the size of the machine. I'm not talking about the size of the machine.
That's what you asked, man.
I'm talking about the data you are collecting.
Well, that's not what you asked. You literally asked about the scale of the machine.
It's not the same. An ultrasound and a seismic sensor is not the same.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me the difference. What's the difference?
Oh, so that's it. That you're flipping it now for me to give you all the answers.
You've made a claim that they're totally different, and I want to know.
You made a claim that is the same. Ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information.
Yes.
How? Explain to me.
Sure. Okay. So you have sound waves with an ultrasound that go through the skin to allow you to see things that you can't normally see, right? Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
You make your statement. Make your statement.
Do you agree or disagree with it?
I'm not your puppet that I gotta answer your question.
I'm not asking you to be my puppet.
And then I will rebuttal.
I'm just asking for clarity. Are we on the same page?
No,
you're going to rebut.
I want you to make your statement, and I will tell you after you finish.
Ultrasound machines? Go right ahead, man. Feel free.
You didn't finish? Tell me why.
No, you were going to rebut. So I mean, you obviously have a rebuttal in mind.
You say I'm glad to answer the question. Now you're squeezing away, squirming away from telling me what is the same. Well,
I sound like I'm squirming away from anything.
Yes. You told me. I'm going to tell you because I asked you a question. I say, all right. Then you made a statement.
And I answered it.
These two things are the same. Explain to me. You say, gladly explain to you. But then you stop in the third word that you say to ask me a question. That's not an explanation.
Well, I was in the process. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. Do you agree or disagree?
You don't have to stop in 3 words. You have to.
If
you are glad to answer my question,
it's okay
go
for you
ahead.
to require a yes or no answer to a question that isn't properly formed and doesn't have a yes or no answer. But when I ask you, do you agree with me?
Obfuscation. You're not telling me what you told me you were going to say.
I'm not obfuscating here. Quit using your little jury tactics. We're not on your show. Okay, you're not dealing with a flirt.
Obfuscation.
Okay. Yeah, you're on my show.
1 minute ago.
Okay.
I can
I'm just serious.
both of you
I'm
if I have
serious,
to.
Jose. Oh yeah, I mean you're welcome to, Terry. I'm trying not to be disrespectful or anything. I just want to understand. I just want to be on the same page of understanding. And this guy is telling us that you have to scale up a seismograph. I mean, an ultrasound machine to do the work of a seismograph when you don't.
You're so dumb, no name. My bad.
Oh, I'm the dumb one. I'm the dumb one. I'm sorry. Maybe it's my lack of broken English. I'm sorry. I just don't understand Spanglish well
There
enough.
you go. Personal insults now.
Yeah,
Boom.
personal insult. Oh, you did it first, asshole.
Morning, guys.
I was rebutting.
Yeah.
Morning,
Alan. Can I haven't heard the whole conversation, but I
got
just
one
heard
question, Alan. This is very easy, and this is what you will understand. Alan, you will understand if I ask you this question. I got a statement somebody said, and I quote, ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information. And I want a clarification, and I asked the question. So,
okay, I'll read something for you.
I can give you
I'm almost done. I heard the statement. I want to make my full statement to see if I'm able to. I heard somebody made a statement, no name, typed, ultrasound and seismic sensors provide the same information. I want a clarification, and I asked, so small scale to big scale, yes or no? That was all.
Very simple answer to that question. Whoever told you that was talking out their bottom.
Let me read something. I'm sorry if you think I'm talking out my bottom, but
they have
go right ahead and
absolutely no idea about how either seismographs or ultrasounds
Thank you very much. I will listen. I appreciate it, guys.
Okay, go right ahead.
Can I read something then? Can I read something? This is from Indiana Public. Did you know geologists can look at rocks deep beneath the surface using sound, just like a doctor uses an ultrasound machine to see a developing baby?
Holy
ultrasound.
shit! But I'm so fucking wrong.
Hold on. Ultrasounds and seismic waves are both types of sound waves, and they need a medium like air, liquid, or rock to travel through. Because of that, when they come to a boundary between two substances, some of the sound gets reflected. Two types of seismic waves. With medical ultrasound, the waves reflect off the surface of the baby's body. There are two types of seismic waves. P waves travel through liquids and solids, and S waves travel only through solids. When they hit boundaries between different substances, they change directions, showing the Earth's structure. The Earth is its own ultrasound machine. All scientists have to do is record when and where waves occur.
But Jose knows all of this because he's being a disingenuous prick because he's had Erebus and others explain this exact concept to him on several occasions. So he's basically pulling a SE or right the hand on you guys. Just full poke. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, in those very broad strokes, yes, but in any sort of actual devices, no.
Well, I wasn't talking about the devices. I was just talking about the information.
I was talking about the method. The method.
This is why context is always important.
Well, you kind of came in a little bit late to miss that initial beginning, Alan. So I think that's where you kind of took the literal meanings rather than
yes, because any equipment that you would use for seismology is so completely different to any equipment you would use for ultrasounds, medical ultrasounds.
Well, of course, Alan. I wasn't saying
they're not putting gel on the Earth.
They use the same principle.
They're not putting gel on the Earth.
That's why I made the joke about scaling up an ultrasound to the size of a skyscraper, because that looked a lot like the question that Jose asked in the chat. Because all he said was big scale or small scale.
Well, I think
point is
I think
that we
going
can
down the
map
road
it
of the
through
clarification of the question saves a lot of arguments in the first place.
Exactly, because
I don't like arguing and combative type conversing back and forward when you don't clarify your questions in the first place and get a bit rude and start to call each other names.
It's very
immature from the grown adults.
Yeah, very un-Terry-like. That's not Terry.
Yeah, I mean, it's as somebody who okay, I haven't worked in the fields, but as somebody who did, when I did my electronic engineering degree, I actually did medical I did the medical engineering course, so I know what goes into building an ultrasound machine.
Well, it's probably ultrasonic as well, isn't it? So it's vibrating really fast.
Yes, it's
like a cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, frequencies in the hundreds of kilohertz range.
Yeah. So
well above pretty much anything's ability to hear it. Yeah, I mean, you're not even talking, it's ultrasound, it's above the range of human hearing, but dogs can hear it, say. But it's into the hundreds of kilohertz, because you have to pick when you're doing ultrasound, you have to pick a frequency that has a wavelength in the body, in the medium that you're transmitting it through. So, like, let's say the body, you need to pick it with a wavelength that is shorter than the size of the things you're trying to see. Yeah.
Do they use ultrasounds to remove kidney stones to break it up, type thing, on different frequencies?
Yes, you can. If I remember correctly, they tend to use machines with multiple heads, so that you can basically what you do is you have a directional transducer that sends the waves in, and you put them around so that they're aimed at the kidney stones, so that you don't necessarily apply that level of energy everywhere.
Yeah. It's directed. Yeah.
Yeah, but of course the other advantage is in that bit of the body, there aren't normally other hard things.
Yes, of course.
So the waves will mostly just pass pretty much through.
Well, a good analogy, Alan, would be you could get rid of the kidney stone with a stick of dynamite, but you know.
Yeah. Well, it's the same when they do. It's the same when they do radiotherapy.
Yeah.
They make sure that the energy that the I think they use alpha particles. No, they can't use alpha. But anyway, whatever it is they're using, whatever level of radiation they're using, they have multiple small sources, and then they point it at the point where they aim it at the aim each one at the tumor from different angles, so that the high intensities is only reached when they all meet together in the middle.
It's usually done with a rotating head, Alan, so that they have a beam, a narrow beam, and they aim that beam at a particular point inside your head or wherever in your body it is, and then they rotate it around so that it's always passing through that point, but it passes through different points of your body elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I think some of the really early ones were multiple headed, but yeah, these days
it's more complicated and it's easier to rotate something around because you can get a lot more angles. And it's not as expensive creating the one head to produce the radiation. Yeah.
Like I said, it was like 25. It's 25 years, pretty much nearly 25 years ago since I graduated. So it's been a long time, and my health has not been great. Therefore,
yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, my brain is not going too well this morning.
We shall combine our brains and be stronger.
Yeah.
You'll be right, mate.
I want to share the story about a name a day. It makes no sense. Sorry about that. How do you do this again? Hold on. I just went to a conference Tuesday and Wednesday, and at the end of it, there was a secret Santa, and there were 26 presents on the ground, all kind of just laid out, and I was the second to last person to choose from the secret Santa. And this is what I got. Can you see that?
Wow. Yeah.
Perfect.
And the thing about these is that they weren't hidden, they weren't underneath at the bottom, like hiding away. They were just on the outside, so they could have been picked at any single time. But the last two was this, and the last present was actually picked by my mother, and it was like a peanut serving bowl. Like, it was a peanut serving bowl. So I felt that was quite applicable. And all the other gifts and everything I didn't want, but this was very, very appropriate. So I thought it was quite funny. So yeah, that's my story. So I can prove Antarctica exists with this. And the bonus is that even New Zealand was on the map, as you can see there on the left.
A bit early for Christmas present.
It was a Christmas conference, so it's the only time that they could gather all the staff between the downtime, because Christmas is manic, so they always have it in October. So
I'll have to start get ready for Easter, I think.
I'm well ahead now. I can just skip Christmas now. So what I tried to do, Terry, was I tried to create your cube Earth. It was quite successful. I tried to make a flat Earth, but ended up just crushing the whole thing. So.
Had a concave Earth.
I just cut in half and then turn it inside out. You reckon that might work? But now, growing up as a kid, I was always have like a Milo and a chocolate fish. And it was it's quite cool. Get a big chocolate fish. But yeah. So, Terry, what's next?
I don't know. I had my own version of a quiz actually.
Ooh.
Oh.
That means I can't play if I've got to read the questions.
Do you want to play? I'll read the questions.
No, these questions you won't be able to read them.
Well, if you want to play that bad,
he probably already knows the answers.
Well, I've got the
How's he going to play
the questions.
Yeah.
When Paul reads the questions, he doesn't know the answers.
No.
Possibly couldn't know the answers.
These lot of questions I get off me beer, and they're all just general knowledge questions.
Right. Oh, well, you already know them because you read the question. Bloody hell.
Yeah, but I can't answer it if I'm reading the question anyway.
We'll have to question that.
But if you play,
I can't play.
And you know the answer.
I can't
But
play.
if you play, if I read the answer, then you already knew the answer, so you can't play anyway.
Yeah,
By knowing the questions, you're exempt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind being exempt.
Yeah, it's a rigged. That's a rigged. They'd call that a rigged.
I don't think exempt is the right word. I think disqualified is the right word.
Yeah. It's not the word I want.
Yeah.
It's not the word I want. I apologize.
Okay.
Exempt is not the word. I guess I just wanted to use it. You don't really get to use it much.
Right.
Well, if you just want to play, you can play. Otherwise, I'll just be reading the questions and then giving an answer.
It sounded good, but it was wrong. Often a lot of things I say, end it like that.
I don't get to use the word knob sprocket much either.
You don't?
But I feel like I need to use it.
You can fit that in a sentence.
Oh, you're right.
Somewhere.
Exempt is definitely the wrong word, people.
Yeah. I feel I owe an apology to both Terry to Terry, No Name, and Jose for coming in a bit strong there and not realizing I was walking into a trap.
Now, some people can get a bit hot-headed too early, too quick when they don't realise the miscommunications of what caused it in the first place.
Yeah, because in the situation of general broad strokes overview, then the answer was yes. But in the terms of actual any sort of technology involved at all, the answer is no. Pick whichever answer happens to apply.
Isn't that what happens with some flurfers and globies having their debates or conversations, and then one will answer and then one will question and then the other one will try to answer, and it's sort of like they get lost in the question and answer part of it, and then they end up they'll end up having an argument over nothing.
Yeah. What happens, Terry, is that when the flat earther is jumped too far deep into the pool and he's drowning, another flat earther will jump in to save him, and then they'll get tied up like that. But they often jump in to save each other and then end up both drowning, and no one throws them a life raft. It's like, well, we've only got one flotation device. We really got to keep it. Sorry, Huey.
Kampai.
Kampai.
Everybody drink. Who has a drink?
I got one, mate.
I don't have a drink. I don't have a drink.
I've still got my morning cup of tea.
Oh.
Easy,
mate.
What time is it? It's beer o'clock.
I've moved beyond tea. No coffee, in fact.
It's 0804 here.
I've got coffee.
Well, 12 hours behind us here in the future.
At the end of the month, it'll be 13 hours.
When do you switch over?
We switch on the last Sunday of the month of October.
Okay.
For at this end of the year. But yeah, because we come off summertime and you go on summertime, it goes from it jumps from 11 hours to 13.
Don't you wish they wouldn't do that, Alan? It's a silly idea, isn't it?
No, I'm quite happy with it because I really don't want to have to get up an hour earlier in the summer than I do, if you know what I mean.
Well, I can have 2 New Year's Day in one day, mate.
Because yeah, it works at higher. It's pointless near the equator because your day lengths don't change very much summer to winter, do they? But up here and down there at like fairly high latitudes, like we are, like I am at 52 degrees. In the summer, the sun would be rising at 2 in the morning.
Sunrise at 2 a.m.
Sunrise would be, but the sunrise would be in that 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. block. With summertime, at least it's in the 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. block.
Oh, look out.
Damn it, Terry, our work blew up again.
It's all relative. If they left the darn clocks alone, you'd be getting up at the same time anyway. You get the same time every day, right?
Well, that's the thing in the summer, especially if you work in a job that relies on working in daylight hours. People would have to start getting to work an hour. Everybody would have to be doing stuff an hour earlier than they would normally be. And I know you would get used to it, but I can understand to a degree because we now set out what we do much more by the clock than by where the sun is in the sky, as we used to.
That's why we don't have daylight saving in Queensland. It fades the blinds, mate. You can't have that.
You don't have it in WA either. My friend lives in Perth, and we're an hour different consistently throughout the year.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not so bad when you're less than 40 degrees from the equator. It gets pretty bad once you start getting over 50 degrees. Yeah, it becomes a thing that can be that becomes a lot more for and against it when you start getting sort of probably over 45 degrees, I would think.
Hello, Blue.
Good day, mate.
Hey, sir.
What's going on,
guys?
guys?
Talking about earlier, Blue, you said that in a certain state it's by the county, the daylight saving.
Yeah, Indiana.
Indiana, that was it.
I think I know Indiana for sure. I think there's some other states that do the same stupid thing.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh, daylight savings is a damn nightmare anyway. I don't have any idea what they were trying to. Well, I know what they were trying to do. It didn't work. Quit. Stop. Stop doing it.
It's supposed to save power, isn't it?
Hmm?
It's supposed to save power, electric power, isn't it? Wasn't that the idea?
Oh, I don't know. There's been so damn many stories. Nobody even remembers why they started that silly shit now. One story was it was to keep the school kids from having to board the school buses in the dark.
Yeah, it does a lot of different things, but yeah, it's really more of an issue in the higher latitudes than it is in the lower latitudes.
Yeah, I think I'm sure that's right, Terry or Alan.
Yeah. Like I said, here, we would be getting sunrise if we didn't have daylight savings. We would be getting sunrise between 2 and 3 a.m. in the summer, and that's fine. That's fine. That was fine back in the days before everybody had clocks, and you worked from when you worked from. You work based on where the sun was in the sky, etc. But doesn't work so well when everybody's using clocks.
But there's a question I heard from Flatty from Daylight Saving. Is the reason why they do it because the sun slows down?
Well done, mate. You nearly got me to cough tea over my keyboard.
Thought I get you, mate.
Oh, that good job. That sip of tea was only just starting to touch my lips. You haven't got quite the timing of Peter.
When was it people had no clocks? I mean, I certainly don't remember that.
I didn't say you didn't have clocks. I said, most working people wouldn't have had a clock in the house.
Really? When would that have been?
Until the mid 1850s.
Oh, okay.
I would have thought, because clocks were generally big and expensive. Yeah, most villages would have a clock. It would be on the church tower. Certainly, certainly in rural Britain. The reliance on using, the reliance on having clocks and having fixed time.
And now you know why they invented clocks for England, don't you? Because sundials didn't work.
And now we're moving away from clocks, right? Fewer people wear wristwatches, that's for sure, because it's on your iPhone, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's on your, but the point is, you've still got an accurate method of measuring time.
A timepiece, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas before, I mean, yes, there were clocks and watches around before the middle of the 19th century, but before the middle of the 19th century, it didn't matter. I mean,
I still have a clock. It's one of those radio clocks. It's second accurate.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we didn't really worry about time zones too much up until the middle of the 19th century, because we didn't need it to be the same time. Everybody just worked off local solar noon, pretty much. When the sun's at the top of the sky, it's 12 o'clock. Oh, well, if you've got a timepiece, well, you set it to 12 o'clock because the sun's set it. But of course, we ended up having to standardize time zones in the second quarter of the 19th century, as we introduced passenger railways and had to have timetables and timetables that were accurate in all of the places where the trains were going to stop. So yeah, I would certainly place that rise of all that sort of stuff to the second quarter of the 19th century. That move away from relying on the sun to tell what time of the day it was.
And sailors would have had to know about time zones for determining longitude, right?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, I'm not saying that any of this was not known. It was just that the general person in the street,
not in common usage. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Probably didn't know because it hadn't been part of their education, and more importantly, probably wouldn't have cared. I mean, let's face it, the average person these days doesn't care as long as the clock, as long as the clock they're using gets them to where they need to be for the time they need to be there.
Yeah, and back then they wouldn't have been phoning relatives on the other side of the world, right, the way they do now.
Exactly. In 1850, the fastest method of communication between Britain and I'm not sure quite when they got that all the way through to Australia, but once it was over, it was something like 8 to 12 hours to get a telegraph from the UK to Melbourne. And that was considered an absolute technological marvelous breakthrough, that you could send a message from London to Melbourne or Melbourne to London in like half a day.
Yeah, otherwise it would have taken about 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, the telegraph was the telegraph system of the mid 1800s was about as big a thing for the people of the earth as the internet has been. That was the level of impact of the introduction of the telegraph.
Oh, there you go.
In fact, if you look at a lot of histories or if you look at several of the histories around of that period in technology, they call it the 19th century internet.
You know the three forms of communication: telephone, telegram, telewoman.
Which will get quicker.
It's a good job there's no ladies in here.
Which one's going to get the message corrupted the most? Of course, though, doesn't telewoman also rely on the telephone? Because telewoman, and then she's straight on the phone telling everybody else. John Rapp, I'm probably old enough to remember it. If I'd have ever had anybody far enough away to call, and could have afforded the international telephone charges.
STD.
Yeah, but at least when it was introduced, they didn't use those three letters as a different abbreviation as well.
Yeah.
So subscriber trunk dialing was not a problem as an acronym back then. Or at least it wasn't as snigger-worthy for men or 15-year-olds.
I used to love those telegrams back in the day. It was good. Like you get a birthday or a wedding or, send a telegram.
Yeah, never ever sent or received a telegram.
Yeah.
No. Again, never known anybody far enough away that it's been necessary.
Oh, we're not having the quiz?
What quiz?
Ah, I thought you were going to have a quiz.
Oh,
Push
yeah.
play, Jerry.
It got on. It dragged on a bit. We've only got about 15 minutes to go, so.
Yeah. We do have to eat, I suppose.
Yeah, it is our din time around over
Yeah.
here in this imaginary land of Oz.
Yeah.
I was just going
Well,
to
let's ask
share.
Blue if he's
I was
got a
just
video
gonna,
coming out.
Yeah, I was just going to share any of while Blue's here. 'Cause I did notice that there were some updates.
I like Milkman Dan's little comment in the side chat there. Normally a woman telling me she's late would scare me, but I get what you're saying.
That one. Oh, how many we got? 1, 2. Oh, your ball's dangling a bit there, Blue.
I only saw a photo. Was there an actual video? I didn't get any.
No, I think that
notification.
last video was shown. I think we showed that one. I'll just open up all the pics and then Blue can give I don't know, it seems to be doubles. Is that the same
Hey,
photo of that
hang
one?
on.
What?
I'll
Hang
give you a
on. What do
link
you
to
mean,
it.
hang on?
Hang on.
I was just opening up all the images for you.
I think hang on means hang on.
Oh, I know.
Hang on, me.
But we have to hang on with our feet here in the south. If you're saying hang on.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we have to hang on.
Use your toes.
Exactly.
How often do you have to replace the Velcro?
I just went and opened all those tabs.
Where
We
can
do
I
it
stick this?
once a month.
Where
Could
do
you put it in the internal chat,
suck?
Terry?
Oh yeah, I guess I could do that. Shit. There you go.
Okay. Surprise. It's a surprise video. Oh, it's a surprise video. Okay. Oh, that one's a different one, because this one, it all comes together first time. This one, the large masses amount of first. Okay. Get the videos in order. Okay. Share. Share. Share to the peanuts. Here we go.
Well, we got the large masses mounted now. I reoriented the bench so that it is the right direction with respect to that support beam up there at the top. And this is how it's going to look. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it like this or turn it 90 degrees. I got to think about that a little bit. This really isn't hurting anything. And the access to it is pretty good. I can see the side window on the right side, but I have to look at it under the workbench. But I don't necessarily have to do that all the time. So this may be okay leaving it just like it is. We'll think about that. But you can't see it from this angle, but I've got a piece of paracord wrapped around that pulley up there. And I've got a couple of the leftover 2-pound weights hanging from the thing. So let's see if we can make the assembly rotate like it's supposed to. A 2-pound pull is all that's needed to make this thing move. It's amazing how easy that is. I'm just barely pulling on it. I don't want to get it moving too fast, especially when we come over close to the enclosure. I'd prefer not to bang into it. I don't have the side stops fabricated yet. That's coming next. And some guides for this rope. But there it is up against the stops on the other side. I think it'll work.
Of course it'll work. We've got faith in your construction abilities, Blue. Oh, there is some.
Are you going to give it a lick of paint, Blue, or a varnish?
Oh, that was the big debate, wasn't it, Blue? Whether to paint it, varnish it, stain it.
Yeah, I'm just going to put tung oil on it and call it a day. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What? I didn't do anything.
That's a garage door opener. No, actually, that's a pulley
Mhm.
with paracord wrapped around it. That really worked out neat. I like it. And literally, when I've been thinking about, what kind of little handles I needed on the rope, and I came to the conclusion that I got those leftover 2-pound weights, so we'll just use lead weights and hang them on it. That'll keep tension on the lines. I hung the first 2-pound weight on there, and the damn whole assembly started rotating. That's all the pull it takes. That bearing arrangement worked.
What sort of cable is that?
It's called paracord. It's I don't know. It's an outer sheath of some sort with some kind of inner.
You buy it at any hardware
core
shop.
material. I don't know what.
It comes in different colours.
Yeah, it comes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get it in all kinds of colors, and campers use it a lot.
And all kinds of braking strains, and it was, and as its name suggests, it was originally developed to make the risers of parachutes, which are all the bits of string you hang from between the parachute and the person or other object underneath it.
I believe that 3/16 diameter, I think is what that is. Just a minute, that's one of the little leveling screws. Thumb screw. There's one in the front. So you got that's the front to back one, and then the other one was the side to side one. There you go. Got sawdust on it.
And it's attached.
Yeah, I put
it's
just
attached
a little
to there now.
Yeah. That's the stop at the top that stops that the rotating carrier beam. Stops it from,
yeah, that's a better one.
There's the other side. There you go. since the lead weights, since they came or could come with that brass eye molded into them, that seemed to be a pretty clever, easy way of doing it. Just put a clevis and a clevis pin in the thing. It was really, really easy to put that together.
So what does it cost you so far, Blue?
Oh, I don't know. Haven't added it up lately.
What price can you put on science?
It's
really
probably
clean.
probably altogether $1,500 or something like that.
Oh.
There's some fairly expensive pieces in here.
That ain't bad.
Like
I'd have estimated more than that, actually.
Yeah, those R clips must have cost you a fortune.
Hmm?
The R clips.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the
No,
mounting
you
of
just look at
the
the
ball is awesome. I didn't think you were going to do it like that. I thought it was going to be some type of pole, but the way that the clamp piece goes over is just awesome. It's not going to move or spin or anything.
One of your balls hangs lower than the other.
Yeah, well, I can fix that.
Okay.
Now those will be obviously they'll be hanging up on the up high on the side of the when I get a guide up there. I just got to make some little simple thing. I want to make a nice little rounded edge for the paracord to ride over. So that was pretty convenient for a quick test. I was really curious to see if how hard it was going to be to make that thing rotate. Turns out the answer is not hard at all. Those make decent little pull weights, little pull thingies. That's fine. It'll work.
That's just a still shot of what we just watched.
Yeah.
Are you looking for the pencil?
Blue knows I do that.
There's two. There's two of them. See if you can find them. I think he's already found one. Yeah, there's one.
There's one. Oh, I found the other one. There we go. See, too easy. That was too easy.
I've been worried about how I was going to hang that, get those balls on there. See those two blocks that were next to that pencil you just looked at? Not that one. The other pencil. That's the wrong pencil. Look at the other pencil. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
I found some blocks the right thickness and just drilled an 1 3/8 shallow hole in it. And the balls just sit right there in that hole, and they're the right height above the table and everything. So I just sat them up there and stuck the rod up, through the beam, hooked it all up, and away we went. Just tightened up the nuts alternately on the top of the carrier beam until I got the balls hanging. Simple.
It's bloody clean work, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's really
Just looks
starting to look
symmetrical.
nice. Yeah.
Just looks right. I remember it was that Dr. John D dude, right? Who was doing I mean, he had something similar to that dark wood bit in the middle, but it was so small. He would have been using like, I don't know, like he would have been using like a softball or something, size lead ball.
Is that threaded rod
It's
all the
nothing.
way, or is that just threaded rod on the end?
No, that was just a piece of plain steel rod.
Oh, okay. And you threaded it.
And I threaded, yeah,
Oh.
I threaded it.
Okay.
Which was the part of the project I like the least, actually. So to this point.
Oh, I don't mind doing that sort of stuff. That's fun.
Yeah.
They're stainless steel. Those toggles. Those
Yeah, it's.
That's stainless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's where the expense is. The lead, stainless steel. Yeah.
Yeah, that stainless that wasn't that expensive. It's the lead.
Mm.
The balls were ended up with shipping and everything. I think close to $200 a piece.
Whoa. What do they use them for normally? Lead balls.
In fishing,
They're fishing weights. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right.
What's that metal that's made with the is that a brass or steel they used? It would have been a brass.
It's brass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brass.
Yeah, you don't want it to rust for fishing, that's for sure.
Every bit of that could be replaced with brass if I wanted to.
Mm.
But Cavendish replaced his rods. At one point, he was concerned about it, and he replaced his steel rods with brass rods, and it didn't change anything. So,
okay.
Somebody really pitches a fit, but two 3/8 inch brass rods for this thing is a better part of $100.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you how much it cost just for those brass sheets that I bought for $20 odd. It's just a little 4-inch by 2-inch or whatever it is piece of thin point. What was it, 0.01 or 0.5 or something?
Yep.
Not cheap. There we go.
So we got John Rapp in the chat saying, are the fittings on the balls stainless or non-magnetic?
They are stainless. Yes, not everything's non-magnetic. Well, the rod itself is not non-magnetic.
And the other question was, do you have any blooper reel material?
Blooper reel, yes I do. Betcha.
Oh, okay.
I'll be putting some of that together.
I think that's all the questions they were, wasn't there, Chiefy?
Yep, I'm just looking. Yeah, that looks like it. We had Zebulon say, I'm proud of myself when I can hang a door. Great job, Blue.
Well, even hanging a doors can be technical.
Renee and me
very
said,
tricky.
Are you
as a
hanging
woodworker,
the door?
I've never
Are
lost
you hanging the door with the door frame, the door jamb as well, or are you just hanging the door itself? Because what if the door frame's out of square and you put a new door on it and it doesn't work? You don't plane the door down to fit, like some people do.
Now you tell me. Bloody. just kidding. And Renee and me said, as a woodworker, I've never lost a digit, but I gnawed the hell out of out of a knuckle one time. Amazing what a bit of super glue can do. I'm pretty sure that's not medical advice.
Yeah, I was going to say, what, super glue your finger back together?
Yeah, just a knuckle.
That's what super glue was invented for, actually.
Oof.
Super glue was originally tissue glue.
Ooh.
I went to, I got a job working in the Department of Pharmacology when I was going to college. And the professor, or the doctor I was working for, had some research grants. And on one of his research grants, I wasn't doing this. There was another guy that did it. But they were doing all kinds of experiments on mice for looking at anti-malarial drugs. Anyway, it's a long story, but long story short, this guy actually had to catheterize carotid artery and femoral vein in a damn mouse. I mean, tiny little needles. And to hold them in place, they had this tissue glue, and it was the forerunner of what we know today as super glue. But that was in 1968. So that stuff's been around a lot longer than people think it has.
Mm.
I guess after a few doctors super glued their damn fingers together, they thought, we might be able to use this shit for something.
Well, I think we might wind it up here. We've been going for a while. We've had a bit of everything today. Bit of knowledge, bit of a conversation, maybe some sort of debate almost that came to head that we had to stop, and an update with Blues Cavendish, which is always great. Who'd we end up having on the panel? Alan came late, so I'll go Alan first. Hey, Alan. John, Blair Pascal.
Blaise Pascal.
Oh, Blaise Pascal. He was a child prodigy. I remember that bit. Only
Yeah.
Sheepy, Scott, Huey, Big Blue, and No Name was here somewhere. Who'd we end up out in the peanuts? Renee Mead, John Rat, Stewie, Dora, Zebulon, Mira. Thank God it's flat. I've got to scroll up. I can't see all the peanuts in one go, so I can't just look. I've got to scroll. Milkman Dan, M-Ball. I think M-Ball's a regular. Are you a regular, M-Ball? You're subbed? If you're regular and you're subbed, you can get your spanner tonight. Just put a comment in to let me know what your story is. I think you're a regular. Who else? I think I've gone through everyone by the look of it.
It was 9 o'clock hero earlier.
9 o'clock hero, okay. Little Wolf was there earlier. I can't see anyone else. We had Jose and Flip Flop, so we had the two of them. The monk was there too. He was here earlier. I haven't seen him lately. Okay, where are you?
And John Rapp had a final question.
Yeah, go for it. M-Ball's got to come back. Let me know if he's a regular and he's subbed. So I'm sure he is.
Blue Marble Science. Has the funding been sufficient? We don't want you out of pocket after doing all the actual work.
I was just typing a response to John on that. It's been okay up to this point. It just depends on what sort of instrumentation we end up. I end up needing to put on this thing. Right now, I don't have any form of data. Well, data collection consists of those two pencils you see, plus a couple of pads of paper I've got laying around.
Yeah.
There may be some better ways of doing that. Actually, one thing I've been thinking about is, how to do video of all of this from 2 or 3 different angles, which would be really ideal.
Well, you need 2 or 3 different cameras.
That's the only.
That'd help.
Yeah, you need 2 or 3 cameras. That's a start. That would be a start. Secondly, you need something to record it on. And I'm almost inclined to look for used PC or something like that, or see if somebody's got one laying around that they're not using, or want to donate to the cause, where I could just hook webcams up. And
Yeah, that
let,
would. Yeah.
let a PC sit out there on the workbench and record this stuff.
Yeah, and you want a basic computer for that, don't you? You don't need anything too flash.
No, nothing fancy. Really something really cheap with a shitload of storage. So that's one thing. Webcams are cheap. Buy 3 of those things for $100, easy. And you can get little USB cameras too. They're like little microscope camera things.
Yeah.
Which would be really good for looking in the ends of those, in those windows on the ends where the verniers are going to be. But the primary measurement is going to be with a laser. I've got that laser that Furball had. And so that'll be one of the things I'll be rigging up over the weekend, getting a mount for that figured out somehow.
Well, I just heard the dinner bell go, so I've got to get going for dinner. Bit of an after show, whatever usual carry-ons over in Discord after this. So, well, thanks panel, thanks Peanuts, and we'll see you tomorrow night for some more Industrial Revolution things. We seem to be hovering around the steam era with the steam train, steam engines, anything related to steam. We were doing the making the steel production. I was seeing if I could find something there, but Creative Commons is a bugger for some videos. There's some nice videos out there that I'd like to play.
Steam rockets, Terry?
Steam rockets, yeah. I know somebody. I heard of somebody trying one of them once.
Yeah, it didn't work out well, did it?
No.
Not for him, no.
Not for the rocket either,
It's
I
like a
heard.
new meaning. It's a new meaning of digging your own grave.
Okay then. Night, everyone.
Good night,
Good night, Jerry.
Peanuts.
See you, Peanuts. Thanks for
Terry.
coming.
Thanks for hosting.
See
Good
you,
night,
Terry.
all.
See you, Peanuts.